He was throwing the ball well. Lee Thomas said he was happy with his velocity finally. He's added a few new pitches. Sometimes minor league stats don't mean all that much. Phillies need a fresh look up here in the starting rotation. They're going to get it tonight from a guy who has had some success in the big leagues. I hope he'll have a little more starting tonight.
Our colleague Andy Musser had a chance to catch up with Tyler Green yesterday in Florida, and he asked him if he thought, because of all the shoulder problems, if he would ever get back to the major leagues.
Well, I think I had a lot of encouragement from watching what happened with Kurt, because he had pretty much the same type of surgery that I had. He had a little bit more done in there, but overall, you know, he seemed to bounce back from it pretty good. And I already had my shoulder scoped for the same thing way back in '92, way back. But you know, I really wasn't worried about it. It didn't. You know, it was something I was able to pitch with while it was injured. So I figured, you know, once it was fixed, then I should be, you know, okay after that.
Did you ever figure out how it happened, or was it an accumulation type of thing?
Well, like I said, in '92, I had my shoulder scope for that same thing. It was my labrum was tearing, which is in the socket of your shoulder. And at that time, they didn't really know how to fix it. And it was just a very small tear. And so they just went in and cleaned up my shoulder. And over the next few years, it just progressively got worse and worse until I had a tear it was actually from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, which is a pretty good size one.
Tyler, after you've had shoulder surgery, do you have to virtually learn to pitch all over again?
My mechanics didn't change a lot, you know, because of the surgery, but I think one of the things that it did is it makes me more leery of letting loose and not really, you know, trying to overthrow. You know, it makes me stay more under control because you don't want to hurt it again.
And maybe that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be.
Now, when you pitched before, we remember you had the devastating knuckle curveball. Do you still have it?
Oh, it's still around somewhere. Every once in a while it shows its head, but you know, I'm still working my way into that pitch right now. It's one of those type of pitches that has a lot of touch with it, and you know, right now it seems to be one of those things where it's either on or it's off. And hopefully I can stay in the game long enough to get it back on, you know, if it's not there. But it's been bouncing back and forth for me. But I've also been throwing my changeup a lot more. I've started throwing a sinker, and I've just started throwing a cutter as well, something to go the other way. So,
Tyler, I know lately you had a couple of good starts in the minors, but basically your minor league numbers were not all that good. Has it been a battle for you to get back to where you want to be?
Well, a lot of times in the minor leagues, the numbers are sometimes deceiving too, because I actually wasn't throwing the ball that bad. I, for the most part, over the last 2 months, I've been throwing the ball pretty well. There was just a couple of times when, you know, when I'd like give up one hit, or we'd have a couple plays in the field that, you know, and then I wouldn't bear down after that. So, you know, and that's just part of coming back. You know, get my head back in the game.
Tyler Green back on a major league mound for the first time since September of 1995. It'll be interesting to see how he does. Thanks, Andy. Tyler Green is 2-0 against the Braves lifetime. He will be opposed by Chris Brock. Starting lineups for you right after these messages.
Phillies baseball is being brought to you in part by Mellon PSFS. It's where you're going. By your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. The health insurance companies you can lean on.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC, or anytime by ATM, and the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
There's one luxury car that's not a cliche.
I want it all.
What is it?
La Millennia by Mazda. An icon of style. An oasis of comfort. An exhibition of grace. Very refined, very personal. Millennium, your private label luxury car. Lease for $329.
It's coming. It's coming to make your home more comfortable, to make your business run better, to help you communicate. It's coming to show how a new kind of power company can offer a lot more than power. Connective. You've never seen such energy.
Back at Turner Field in Atlanta, game one of a short two-game series. The Phils and the Atlanta Braves. Phillies looking for their first win against Atlanta this year. Atlanta's won all 7 games. Beautiful brand new ballpark here in Atlanta, Georgia. Fans out in that center field enjoying restaurant, and Braves have a 5-game lead over Florida coming into play. They have the best record in all of baseball. The Mets are hanging tough. They're just a game and a half behind Florida, and then Montreal at 8 back. Phillies, of course, well back, and the Phillies looking for their first win against Atlanta this year. Lineup cards are now being handed out at home plate. Manager Terry Francona taking the Phillies lineup card, and Jim Beecham the Braves lineup card. Mark Hirschbeck will be the plate umpire. Angel Hernandez at first, Charlie Williams at second, and Bruce Premming will umpire at third as the Braves take the field for game one of this short two-game series. Terry Francona's starting lineup for the Phillies tonight. Midray Cummings, the center fielder, leads off. Mickey Morandini's second base bats second. Darren Dalton in right field hitting third. Scott Rowland, third base bats fourth. Greg Jeffries, left field hitting fifth. Rico Bronya, first base bats sixth. Mark Parent will catch tonight. He'll hit seventh. Kevin Stocker, the shortstop, bats eighth. Batting ninth and pitching Tyler Green. That lineup will be facing the rookie right-hander Chris Brock.
Yeah, he's been around a little bit. He's not a kid anymore. He's 27 years old, but he's no wins, no losses. His ERA isn't all that bad at 1.2. Walks a few too many. Braves are 2-2 in his 4 starts. Braves got hit around a little bit by the Mets this weekend.
Losing 3 out of 4 to New York. Defensively behind Chris Brock, Chipper Jones at third. Jeff Blauser, the shortstop. Mark Lemke at second. Fred McGriff at first. Tim Spear doing the catching. Ryan Klesko in left. Andrew Jones in center. Michael Tucker in right. Midray Cummings will lead it off for the Phils. Cummings batting at 190.
Braves had 4 big leads against the Mets. Blew 3 of them. There was a couple of 4-run leads, a 5-run lead.
Last night a 6-run lead. 1 strike to Midray Cummings. Driven down the left field line. That's a fair ball going all the way to the fence. Cummings will get 2 out of the stand-up double for Midray Cummings.
Hit that ball right where it was pitched on the outside corner. Brock won't overpower you, but there's where the pitch was, right on the corner. And surprised that Klesko wasn't really playing him over towards the foul line a little more.
Mickey Morandini now will try to pull the ball and move the runner up. Mickey hitting at 303. Dropped the bat as if to bunt and took it high for a ball. 1-0.
Bunt's a good play if you beat it out. Even if you don't beat it out, you can probably get the runner over, but especially if you beat it out, it's a good play.
Very high, ball 2, 2-0. Morandini tied for second in the league in doubles with 28. Leads the Phillies in runs scored. He has crossed the plate 50 times.
I think he'll be hitting now. 2-0 count.
Looking Midre Cummings back towards second base. That went over. 2 balls and a strike to Morandini.
Fred McGriff at first base plays Morandini almost as though the infield is in. I think he can pull that ball, and he can hit the ball hard to right field.
Drops a bunt down, fielded by Brock. He looked at third and didn't get the man at first. Chipper Jones was not at third. He looked at third, and that cost him the out at first base.
Well, he sure wheeled as though he were going to third. I don't know if Spear, the catcher, yelled third. I don't think he would have, because Chipper wasn't there. He thought he might have to field the ball. That hesitation cost him the play at first.
So it'll be a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. The Phillies have runners at first and third. Nobody out for Darren Daulton. Dutch batting at .271. This Brock, the rookie, in trouble. Brock was a 12th round draft pick in the '92 draft by Atlanta. Altamonte Springs in Florida, went to Florida State. 26 years old. He started another game against the Phils. No decision that game. Ball skips away from Spear, and Morandini alertly moves up to second on a wild pitch, uncorked by Brock.
Spear recovered quickly, but Morandini went right away, and no play at second. Infield stays back.
2 balls and no strikes to Darren Daulton. That one for a strike. 2-1.
Not a real good pitch to hit. It was right on the outside corner and down a little bit. Daulton would like a little better shot at putting good wood on the ball here. A little better strike.
Fly ball deep center field. Andrew Jones will make the catch, but both runners are going to move up, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead on a sacrifice fly by Darren Daulton. Well, the Phils jump on the board early here, leading 1-0. Morandini at third base with 1 out for Scott Rowland. Thanks to John O'Dowd for the great cigars sent up. John sends his best to all the gang back in the Philadelphia area, the dude and all the troops.
Infield is up now. I'd say it's up halfway.
One strike to Scott Rowland, who's hitting at .294. Rowland leads the Phils and runs batted in with 53. Has been a good hitter with runners in scoring position. .322 with runners in scoring position. Bounces it in front of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Scott Rowland.
Good block by Spear. That was that in between hop. You can't usually field it cleanly. You just try to block it, which he did with his chest protector. Way up in front of home plate.
Morandini at third, a run across, 1 out. Inside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rowland.
Got a call there. That was a good pitch. It was close to the corner, but it was inside. Everybody's throwing Rolen inside now. They're moving out there.
Breaking ball, he taps it to third, going on contact. Morandini scores, and the Phillies lead it 2-0. Morandini going on contact on the tapper to Chipper Jones. He scores. Phil's jumped to a 2-0 lead. Rolen knocks in his 54th.
Big old curveball. Rolen didn't get much of it, but he hit it badly enough so Morandini could score.
Brings up Greg Jeffries. He's batting at .255. Brock in his first game against the Phillies, no decision. He worked 5 innings, gave up 8 hits and 3 runs, 2 of them earned. He was 6-4 at Richmond before being called up. Ball on the strike to Greg Jeffries. As a left-hand hitter, they play him around to the opposite field. Pretty big gap between Andrew Jones and Michael Tucker. See Jones shading into left center, and then Tucker playing about straight away. Fouls it off at the plate. Still 1-2 to Jeffries.
All hit his foot there. You can see side of his front foot as opposed to his hind foot.
High with a breaking ball, 2-2.
It's like we're talking about a horse here. I should say his right foot.
Just missed the outside corner. 3-2 the count to Greg Jeffries.
It was off the plate. A few inches.
Jeffries draws the walk. He is a 2-out base runner for Rico Brogna. The Bleiweiss family here from Northeast Philadelphia. David and Jerry, son Richie and daughter Melanie, on their way, stopping here for the Phillies games on their way to Disney World. Rico Brogna batting at .252. Very high, 1-0.
Can't get his breaking ball over. Hasn't thrown one for a strike yet.
Smoke to deep center field. Andrew Jones will not get it out of here. Home run, Rico Brogna. Phillies have jumped to a 4-0 lead here in the first inning. Number 10 for Brogna.
Hit a low fastball. I mean, he hit it hard and high and far.
The catcher, number 8,
So that 2-out walk to Jeffries has cost Brock another run. 2 runs after the home run. Watch him go down and get that ball. It's not a real bad pitch.
Mark Parent takes one over for a called strike. Brogna's second home run this month of July. His others all came early. He didn't hit a homer at all of the month of June. Parent fouls it back and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Mark Parent. Phillies have 4 here in the first inning. 1-2. Rico Brogna and Tyler Green. Tyler getting some early runs with which to work. His return to the major leagues. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Starting pitchers usually don't say much when they're pitching. Tyler Green's on a soapbox.
Parent goes down swinging. That will retire the side, but a big inning for the Phils. 4 runs on just 2 hits. No errors and none left. After 1/2, Phillies 4, Braves coming to bat.
With my old health plan, I needed a referral to see my gynecologist. Now look, I'm a big girl, but the whole ordeal was kind of uncomfortable. But that was then. We switched to Keystone, you know, back by the Blues. They don't make me get permission to see my gynecologist. They understand that I can handle it myself whenever I choose.
Direct Access, another innovation from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
Keystone understands women.
When it comes to value, only one sport utility wins the race. Chevy Blazer LS 4-door 4x4. Because Blazer is priced over $1,200 less than Pathfinder XE, over $1,900 less than Explorer XLT, and over $2,000 less than 4Runner SR5. And now you can lease a Blazer for just $289 a month for 36 months. Initial payment $19.99. Or buy any Blazer now and get $1,000 cash back. Financial security in an insecure world. Only at your local Chevrolet and Geo dealer.
It's opening day part 2. Hot dogs for $1, Fan Zone for free. When the second half of the season kicks off Wednesday, July 16th at 7:35 versus the Expos. Reserved seats start at just $5. Call 463-1000.
Bottom half of the first inning, Bobby Cox starting lineup for Atlanta. Jeff Blauser, shortstop, leads off. Michael Tucker in right field bats second. Chipper Jones, third base, hitting third. Fred McGriff at first base bats fourth. Ryan Klesko left field hitting fifth. Andrew Jones in center field bats sixth. Mark Lemke, the second baseman, hitting seventh. Tim Spear, the catcher, bats eighth. Chris Brock pitching, hitting ninth. They are facing Tyler Green.
Well, I think Tyler's a little pot luck tonight. You know, you never know about him because this is his first start in a couple of years in the major leagues. There's his numbers. That's his Scranton numbers, and
he pitched a lot better late in Scranton than he did early. A lot of that high ERA is his early outings when he struggled. Did pitch 3 complete games for the Red Barons. Scott Rowland at third, Kevin Stocker short, Mickey Morandini at second, Rico Brogna at first. Mark Parent does the catching. The outfield from left to right, Greg Jeffries, Midray Cummings, and Darren Dalton. Jeff Blauser leads it off. Blauser having a fine year. He's tied for 5th in the league in hitting at .344. Among the league leaders in runs scored. Just missed.
Just missed. Just missed what?
2 balls and no strikes to Blauser.
Just missed the batter's box. He could be understandably a little edgy out there.
Three and nothing.
Galen Cisco.
Walked him on 4 pitches. Phillies are well out in the league lead and issuing walks. 388 of them. You get 4 runs, and you want to see a pitcher go after hitters. Batter will be Michael Tucker. This, however, is the first appearance on a major league mound for Tyler Green since September 16th of '95. Missed all of last year with the shoulder surgery.
He won't be getting anything either from, the home plate umpire because he has a little reputation for being wild.
6 straight pitches out of the strike zone. Parent goes out to try to settle down Tyler Green.
Yeah, you don't want to give them back. You make them earn what they're going to get here, but just don't give them back after that 4-run bulge. Of course, nobody knows that better than Tyler.
That one over. 2-1 to Michael Tucker, who's hitting at .299. Tucker came over from the Kansas City Royals at the end of spring training in the Jermaine Dye deal. Three and one.
I think this is one of the deals that got Bob Boone fired. Kansas City would like to have Tucker back.
First round draft pick of the Royals in the '92 draft. On a ground ball, Rico Bronya, nice grab. The Stocker, the return throw not in time, but they got the lead runner. Bronya to Stocker, Tucker at first on a fielder's choice.
Bronya giving Stocker just a little better throw where Stocker didn't have to, slam on the brakes there and catch the ball. Might have turned that. That ball was good pitch. Tucker swings at every ball is just as hard as he can swing. But see, Stocker had to almost leave the bag.
Brings up Chipper Jones. Chipper hitting at .315. Michael Kerr gets away from Mark Parent. That'll be a wild pitch, moving Tucker to second base.
Knuckle curve has a goofy rotation, which when it hits the dirt can bounce a lot of different ways, and Parent just couldn't stop it.
Chipper Jones, fifth in the league in runs batted in with 75 of them. Tied for ninth in the league in runs scored. Three and nothing. Fred McGriff waits on deck. Walked him on 4 pitches. Second walk of the inning. Given up by Tyler Green. The batter will be Fred McGriff.
Green is throwing a decent sinker, not getting it over very often. He got a couple over to Michael Tucker, but the ball does have some sink on it.
Fred McGriff has not hit for the power that the Braves were looking for from him. One ball and no strikes to Fred McGriff. Play 1-1. McGriff does ground into double plays. If Tyler Green can induce a ground ball here, Crime Dog is among the league leaders in grounding into double plays. He's done it 14 times. Ball left field. Jeffries waits and puts it away. Tagging at second, he started and stopped, and then he kept going as Michael Tucker. Jeffries didn't get it back in a hurry the way he should have, and Tucker took advantage and moved up to third.
What that does is give Klesko now a hole with the runner on first. Maybe it won't do anything if he can get Klesko out. Klesko's been hitting the ball lately. He wasn't hitting much. The Phillies were here a couple weeks ago. Brought that average up about 30 points since Phillies saw him.
High with a knuckle curve. 1 ball and no strikes to Klesko, hitting at .267. 15 home runs. He has knocked in 51. Atlanta runners at first and third. Cues the ball foul down the third base side. 1-1 the count to Klesko. Klesko will strike out quite a bit, 78 times this year. It's a tough out for Tyler Green in 95. And 3 for 5 off him. Way outside, 2-1. Green had an interesting rookie year. He was an all-star as a rookie in 95. Went 8-4 with a 2.81 ERA before the all-star break. Then after the all-star break, his shoulder started to bother him. He was 0-5 with an ERA over 10. Career-wise, he's won 8, lost 9 in the major leagues. 2 of his 8 wins against the Braves. Good knuckle curveball there. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Klesko.
It took something off this pitch. That was a straight change, which he does throw now and again.
And to bust him with a fastball in, missed with it. It's a full count.
It's a pretty close pitch. He had Klesko fooled with it. Did tail back a little bit. Must not have been enough, though, to get the plate.
Very high fly ball to right center. That'll stay in the park. Aaron Dalton puts it away, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left. After 1, 4-0 Phils.
In the world of tools, there's only one true craftsman. Craftsman makes anything possible.
Yeah. Air Force One clear for takeoff.
Mr. President, welcome aboard, sir.
Go! Go! How the hell did they get Air Force One?
On July 25th,
President of the United States.
the time to negotiate is over.
This president is a Medal of Honor winner.
He knows how to fight.
I would like to ask all Americans to pray for the safety of everyone on board Air Force One.
Harrison Ford.
Get off my plane.
Air Force One. Rated R. Opens everywhere July 25th.
After 1 inning of play, the Phils 4, Atlanta nothing. Upcoming telecasts of Phillies baseball include tomorrow night's final game of this series with the Braves at 7:30 here on WB17, and Wednesday night's game at the Bet with the Expos on Prism. Kevin Stocker leads it off for the Phils, hitting at .245. one strike. Bouncing it up there, 2-1. Chris Brock hurt himself in the first inning, taking that look to third base on a Morandini bunt. If he'd gone ahead and gotten the sure out at first base, he would have given up just a run. He ended up giving up 4. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kevin Stocker. Foul. Still 2-2 to Kevin Stocker. He'll be followed by Tyler Green and then Midray Cummings. Ripped to right field. That'll be extra bases for Kevin Stocker. He goes into second standing with a double. So the Phils have 3 hits off Brock, 2 doubles and a homer, and the batter will be Tyler Green.
Kevin Stocker finally got a strike in this at bat. The other pitches he swung at were bad balls. That was right down the middle, and he ripped it.
We'll see if Tyler Green tries to bunt him to third here. Tyler Green was not a bad hitting pitcher. In 95, he hit 174, had 8 hits, 6 of them extra base hits, 5 doubles and 1 home run. He is around to bunt, gets the bunt down, fielded by Brock. This time he takes the sure out to Lemke. Sacrifice is good by Green. It moves Stocker to third base. Goes Brock to Lemke.
Braves will bring that infield in now with the 1 away. Brock's in a little trouble again.
Midray Cummings doubled and scored a run his first time up. Him up. Won't be able to score on that one. Caught by Browser. So Cummings pops up to shallow left for out number 2, and then it'll bring up Mickey Morandini.
Had a good pitch to hit too. Not a bad cut. He just got under it.
Morandini sacrificed his first time up and was safe on a fielder's choice. Ground ball. Fred McGriff has it. Just got it to Brock in time. Nice play by the Crime Dog, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. Phillies lead 4-0.
How to fit a ton of features into a half-ton truck. The Mazda SE5. The Mazda SE5. Have it all for $11,950. Lease the Mazda SE5 for $159 a month.
We're unwrapping something new at Wendy's. Fresh stuffed pitas, like our Garden Ranch chicken pita with crispy vegetables and tender chunks of marinated chicken breast filet. Wendy's 4 new fresh stuffed pitas, fresh like a salad, filling like a sandwich.
Who knew something called a pita would taste this good?
Honey, I need a Wendy's Frosty.
It's late, sweetie. Wendy's is closed. But you know, if they were open, I'd be down there in a second, because that's how much I love you.
Now Wendy's pickup window is open till midnight every night.
Hi.
Did you happen to get Biggie fries?
We had a phone bill you would not believe, but now we dial 10321, then 1, the area code, and the number. And we save over AT&T on every call in the U.S. And 50% on all calls over 20 minutes. No signing up, we just dial it.
Coming up on WB 17 News at 10, a big heat wave brings unhealthful air to the Delaware Valley. The question now is, when will it let up? In Atlantic City, yet another case of a newborn baby being abandoned, this time in a toilet. A bus driver intervenes to try to save the child. O.J. Simpson's house has been auctioned off. We'll tell you who owns the Rockingham estate now and how little they had to pay for it. And did marijuana cause the crash that critically injured 2 Detroit Red Wings? The stories after the Phillies on WB.
The Fred McGriff play saved the Braves a run. McGriff's no Gold Glover, but he made a good one there. Recovered quickly. Made a good throw to first to Brock and saved a run.
Andrew Jones leads it off for Atlanta. Jones hitting at .283. Tyler Green so far has survived this wildness. He's thrown 23 pitches, 16 of them balls. But you can't keep doing that.
Especially with this club. This club hits home runs, and you get people on there, they're capable of scoring them in bunches.
Got that one over, 2-1. Jones just 20 years of age from Curacao. Three balls and a strike.
That's the way,
Tim. Third walk given up by Tyler Green. And it'll bring up Mark Lemke. Our trivia question tonight is brought to you by the new Dodge. Can you name the member of the 500 home run club who, after his first 5 years in the major leagues, had hit only 11 home runs? Fans, if you'd like to play along with Rich on our trivia question, email us with your guesses to WB17Phils, care of AOL.com. And for more information on the Phillies, check out our AOL site at keyword WB17 Sports. One strike to Lemke, who's hitting at .223. Two strikes to Lemke, and they got him picked off. What a good throw behind the runner by Mark Parrott to Rico Bronya for out number 1. Andrew Jones picked off first base.
Yeah, they get the strike call, and then good tag there by Bronya too. Getting that hand before he got on the bag. That erases a base runner.
1-2 to Mark Lemke. Two balls and 2 strikes. Taylor Green. That was really full extension for out number 2. Now there's a big guy at 6'5", and he used that whole 6'5" frame.
Showed a little jumping ability there. Wasn't exactly a Spalding guide, but it did the job. Usually a pitcher will just mess that play up. That probably would have been fielded by Stocker had it gotten through. Usually a pitcher will get involved in play and miss it, trickle away somewhere, and you lose the base runner.
Things on Tim Spear. He was picked up, and then the Braves had to disable Javi Lopez. Spear was playing down at Richmond, where he was hitting .245 with 3 home runs. This is his first start for Atlanta. He's played in the major leagues for Kansas City and Montreal. He was released by Kansas City in May of this year. Signed to a minor league contract by the Braves. 2 balls and a strike to Tim Spear. Three and one. Ground ball. Scott Rowland, though, has it. Rifles across in time to get Spear, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left after 2. 4-0 Phillies.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
If you've been waiting to buy a new minivan, the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. With up to $1,000 cash back on Caravan, or pay this low price for our 7-passenger Caravan, making it the lowest price minivan in the industry. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you right under your nose?
It is sneaking up on me. Here, too.
You need Just for Men gel. Brush in, and in 5 minutes, rinse.
It's the sure thing for a natural look.
Just for Men gel.
Phillies are home on this Wednesday against Montreal. Opener 2, a fun night all around. $1 Dog Day when hot dogs are just $1. Voted the best hot dogs in Major League Baseball by USA Today. Fan Zone Day when all the fun and informative concourse exhibits are free. That'll be this Wednesday when the Phillies take on Montreal. Curt Schilling will be pitching, don't forget. It's 7:35 on Wednesday. Order your tickets by calling 215-463-1000. Remember to inquire about our daily special when you call that number. Darren Dalton leads it off, hit a sacrifice fly to knock in a run his first time up. One strike to him. Our trivia question tonight brought to you by the new Dodge. Can you name the member of the 500 home run club who, after his first 5 years in the major leagues, had hit only 11 home runs? In the air to right center field, not deep. Andrew Jones puts it away. Dalton's retired, 1 down.
I find that trivia question hard to believe, Harry.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the Phillies and WPHL-TV.
I'm going to make an implausible guess.
Okay.
About the great Hank Aaron.
Good guess. Incorrect, however.
Because when he first came up, he didn't hit many home runs, but he must have started before 5 years, I guess.
Would be that Harmon Killebrew. Killebrew finished 5th on the all-time home run list with 573. But only 11 in his first 5 years. Then from 58 through 72, he averaged 38 a season with the Senators. Hit 40 or more 8 times.
Well, I'll believe it if you say so, but I find that hard to believe, too.
One and two to Scott Rowland, who grounded out his first time up, knocked in a run in so doing. Two balls and 2 strikes. Phillies lead 4-0 here in the third. Houston leads the Cubs 2-0. Jeff Bagwell his 25th home run at Wrigley. He's ahead of Rowland and lost him. That's the second walk given up by Chris Brock, and the batter will be Greg Jeffries. He walked his first time.
I had Rowland 0-2, and then started nibbling a little bit. Threw him a 3-2 slider or curve, and that missed by a long way.
Ball for a strike to Jeffries. No balls and a strike. Runner goes on a hit and run. Chipper will throw to first base. Jeffries retired. Rowland moves up to second, where with 2 outs it'll bring up Rico Brogna.
Jeffries guessed right. They had Blauser covering. Well, that's no surprise, but Jeffries had the whole left side of that infield to hit through, except where Chipper Jones was standing.
Brogna is going to get an intentional walk after hitting a 2-run home run. And they'll go after Mark Parent. This will be the 3rd walk given up by Chris Brock. The Phillies with 2 men on base, 2 outs for Parent, who struck out his first time up.
Catcher, Mark Parent.
Well hit to center field. Andrew Jones won't get it off the base of the fence. Rowland scores. Here comes Brogna. The relay throw. Brogna scores. Ball gets away. Parent ends up at third base. Phil's lead at 6-0 on a 2-run double by Mark Parent.
Knew he was going to start hitting one of these days. Saw him hit too well against the Phillies through the years, but they weren't playing him very deep, and that ball hit the bottom of the fence out there in deep left center. Jones had him shallow, and he didn't get near it.
Will be a double, 2 runs batted in, and Parent goes to third on the error, throwing error on Mark Lemke, and the batter is Kevin Stocker. Speed pitch for a strike.
Those 2 walks hurt Brock.
Well, they did. You can understand the intentional walk.
Oh, sure. You betcha. That's the right strategy. Trent was hitting 144 before that, or after that intentional walk.
And he delivered with a 2-run double, and it's now 6-0. Pulled by a slider. 2-2 to Kevin Stocker. He doubled his first time up. Phillies have 4 hits, all of them extra base hits, 3 doubles and a home run. Smothers a ground foul into the Braves dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kevin Stocker. Stays alive at 2-2. Just a little bit high. It was close. Full count to Stocker.
Yeah, big old curveball, and that should be a strike.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Full count holds to Kevin Stocker. To Lemke, that will retire the side. Phil's put 2 on the board on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's 6-0 Phillies.
Nobody does it like you.
Wind tunnel by Hoover is here. It's breakthrough technology.
Nobody's got the power to please me.
And tests show it picks up more dirt than any other clean air upright.
Hoover, nobody
Wind tunnel technology.
does it like you.
When it comes to value, only one sport utility wins the race. Chevy Blazer LS 4-door 4x4. Because Blazer is priced over $1,200 less than Pathfinder XE, over $1,900 less than Explorer XLT, and over $2,000 less than 4Runner SR5. And now you can lease a Blazer for just $289 a month for 36 months. Initial payment $19.99. Or buy any Blazer now and get $1,000 cash back. Financial security in an insecure world. Only at your local Chevrolet and Geo dealer.
From the creators of $1,000 a week for life.
Lady, want to win a ticket here? Win a ticket in your hand, baby. We have only one chance.
Speak for yourself, darling. I have 8.
Honey, we won!
$1,000 a week for life 2. The sequel that's better than the original. Don't miss Red Hot 7s, also playing at a retailer near you. Play this instant.
Phillies baseball is being brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. Now we go to the bottom of the 3rd. The Phils with an early 6-0 lead here, and leading off will be Chris Brock, the pitcher. Brock is 1 for 7, hitting at 143. One strike to Chris Brock. And inside. Through the first 2 innings, Tyler Green threw 37 pitches, 24 of them balls. He was able to survive those 2 innings without giving up a run. He needs to get better command as the game goes on. He's got 6 runs to work with. 1-2 to Chris Brock. Wildly swinging. That's the first strikeout for Tyler Green. 1 down here in the 3rd. It'll bring up Jeff Blauser. He walked his first time up.
Swung at that slider that's way outside. Couldn't reach it. Don't see Francona with a smile on his face in that dugout very often.
Well, his only laugher of the season in Florida. It didn't come until late when the Phillies scored 8 runs in the 9th inning to beat the Marlins 13-3 on Friday. He won't keep the smile very long if he sees more bases on balls here. And he is going to see more bases on balls here. 3-0 to Blauser. Inside corner, 3-1. Center field, base hit. First hit given up by Tyler Green. So Blauser is a 1-out base runner for Michael Tucker.
Hit a high fastball there, a high sinker ball, which is not a place to throw a sinker ball. It's high. It should be down a little bit. Nobody swings about as hard as this fellow, Michael Tucker. He really errs on his swing.
Grounded sharply into a fielder's choice his first time up. And strike to Tucker.
That sinker ball has a little movement on it, Harry. I mean,
pitch he just picked up this year. 2-seamer.
Oops.
1 ball and 1 strike. Acted a pitch out of the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Michael Tucker.
Ahead on the count now. Tyler might try that knuckle curve.
He did, and he hung it, and it's hit into right field. Blauser will hold on at second base. And the Braves with 2 men on base and 1 out for Chipper Jones.
Exactly what it was, that knuckle curve, but you're right, he did leave it up high there. It just came flopping down over the middle of the plate.
Chipper Jones walked his first time up. Almost hit him. 1 ball and no strikes. Just missed the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. deep left center field. Jeffries makes the running grab nicely. Quickly gets it back in. And that's a big out as Chipper Jones lines out to Jeffries in left center. Good play by Greg. 2 down.
Was a good play. Had a good jump on the ball. Stayed with it. Got it on the dead run. Chipper Jones hits the ball hard most of the time. Tyler Green got slipping away here against the Braves. Trouble is, you have another good hitter coming up, one after another with his club.
Fred McGriff flied out to left his first time up. Ryan Klesko waits on deck. Two men on base, 2 outs here in the third. Wide, 2-0. Kickoff try at second base.
Time has been called. So even had he picked him off, it wouldn't have counted. They called time out at home plate.
That time had been called because Blauser never did get back to the bag.
No. Pretty good pickoff throw.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike to Fred McGriff. Outside corner, it's 2-2.
Probably a little outside, but got a call.
The balls and 2 strikes to Fred McGriff. Down and in, it's a full count. Runners will be going. Blauser from second, Tucker from first with 2 outs here in the third. And he fouls it out of play, so he'll try it again. Still 3-2.
Made a pretty good pitch on McGriff. The hard sinker inside part of the plate, and Fred just didn't get the bat around. So he kind of inside outs this foul ball. I don't know if I'd try that pitch again.
Missed, and he walked in the 4th walk given up by Green. And the Braves have him loaded for Ryan Klesko. Our fan will go out and talk to Tyler Green. Ryan Klesko skied out to right his first time up.
Klesko will be trying to hit a home run. He can do that, but I think it's a lot harder to hit a home run if you try than if you don't try.
One strike to Ryan Klesko.
You had the outside corner. That's not a good pitch to try to hit a home run anyway. Unless you hit it over the left field fence.
Big hat. 0-2.
Now he'll probably try, something off speed. Klesko, particularly a good off-speed hitter. It's a good fastball hitter. He's primarily a fastball hitter. If you hang a curveball to him, he'll hit that.
Klesko tires of waiting and steps out. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Phil's on top 6-0 here in the bottom of the third. Setting up away, threw it away, just missed the outside corner.
I'll tell you, that was close. He's called him further outside than that. Was outside, but not much.
1-2. Again wide, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Doesn't want to go 3-2.
Late swing and a ground foul.
Went in on him that time and caught Klesko a little bit by surprise. And that's kind of a funky swing by Klesko on a sinker ball.
2-2 to Ryan Klesko with the bases jammed. Got him, struck him out. Fastball inside corner, and Tyler Green dodges another bullet. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left. Chris Wheeler joins Rich Ashburn in the 4th after 3. 6-0 Phils.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
There's a sea of minivans out there, but one stands above the rest. Ford Windstar, the only minivan to earn the government's 5-star safety rating, higher than Dodge and Chrysler. A 200-horsepower V6 is more powerful, too. And over 40 standard safety features help keep your family safe. Ford Windstar, an island of quality and safety in the sea of life. Now get $1,000 cash back on Windstar, or low 4.8 financing for 48 months. Only from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
In the world of Jamie Foxx, you gotta know how to handle emergencies. Then, what are the Wayans brothers up to this summer? Marlon learns to appreciate the finer things in life.
Could we hear Bow Down by the West Side Connection, please?
The Wayans after Jamie Foxx.
Wednesday beginning at 9 on WB17.
Travel provided by U.S. Airways. U.S. Airways offers the only daily nonstop service from Philadelphia to Madrid, Spain.
Tyler Green leads it off, has a ball and a strike on him. Green, Cummings, Morandini, the first 3 batters. Lauser makes the play, and Tyler Green is out, 1 away. Action poster day at the ballpark Sunday, July 20th, a 1:35 start against the Pirates. It's fun for kids. Kids Appreciation Day, when all fans 14 and under receive a great colorful action poster featuring the hot corner players Rico Bronya and Scott Rowland. Compliments of Boston Market. Cummings has a double and 2 times at bat. Strike on him. Great baseball schedules as the Pirates are in. Make plans to come out. Order tickets easily by phone. 463-1000 and inquire about the daily special. Ball and a strike on Midre Cummings. 6-0 lead Phillies here in the top of the 4th. Hard to believe. Two and 1 the count. Phillies with 4 in the first, 2 in the third.
Well, the Braves are in a little bit of a funk after what happened with them over the Mets over the weekend, and they made a costly mistake in that first inning on that bunt. I mean, they gave an extra out, turned into a big inning, and Bobby Cox knows his club right now is reeling a little bit, and the Phillies would like to continue that.
Get back to the mound.
And very rarely does a team go through a whole year and just play great all the time. Braves had a real lull last year for about a month, and every team's going to have them in the course of a year, even the good teams like Atlanta, and they're just in a little bit of one right now.
Mickey Morandini is 0 for 2, has scored a run. Or no, 0 for 1, excuse me. He sacrificed his first time up.
Yeah, that's that bunt play I was talking about that they messed up, and it led to a big inning.
Outside, ball 1 to Morandini. And ball 2.
Brock is kind of short, really, with his stuff. He doesn't have anything overpowering. He kind of has to nibble around, try to sink his fastball, throw a breaking ball, and change up, and they've taken advantage of that tonight. He's behind in the count a lot, and the Phillies have taken about everything they'll give him.
3-0. Holton waits on deck. Walked him. Two-out walk to Morandini, and Dalton has a run batted in on a sacrifice fly, and he's flied out to center field.
Yeah, and he also moved a base runner on the sacrifice fly, and with the runner going on contact, which was a good play, Scott Rowland got an RBI out of it, made it 2-0 in the first inning. It was good to see them use that contact play.
Ball 1 to Dalton. Brock has walked 4 now. Phillies have nailed him for extra base hits so far. Three doubles and a home run. Ball 2. 6 straight out of the strike zone for Chris Brock. Seven straight, but he got the call. 2-1 the count. Miss. 3-1. All 4 Morandini was going, but didn't mean anything. Another walk, 5th walk for Brock.
Catchers really like a quick call by the home plate umpire on that, and as Leo Mazzoni comes to the mound, you could tell Spear wasn't sure whether or not that was a strike or not, so he fires the second. That's always risky because that ball's live. I mean, if he throws that ball into center field or short hops the middle infielder out there, then you can have some advance by the guy who just walked and the guy going into second base. That's why they really want a quick call, and they don't want to have to throw on ball 4. You see right here, it's ball 4, and he comes firing out of there right away. As it turns out, I mean, he makes a good throw. Blauser comes up and makes sure that there's no problem. You know, a catcher shouldn't be throwing on those if they can avoid it. Mark Hirschbeck behind the plate again. We just had him. He had the plate on Friday night in that marathon in the rain. He came up here along with Charlie Williams. He came up with his family today, and Charlie came up on the plane with the Phillies last night from Florida.
2 on for Scott Rowland. He's grounded out, knocked in a run, and he's walked and scored a run. There's Morandini. Mickey used real bad judgment there. And that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, one man left on base. Braves bat in the fourth. Phillies lead 6-0.
There's one luxury car that's not a cliche.
What is it?
The Millennia by Mazda. An icon of style. An oasis of comfort. An exhibition of grace. Very refined. Very personal. Millennia. Your private label luxury car. Lease for $329.
Business Person Special, sponsored by Mellon PSFS. Monday, July 21st, 105. The Phillies, the Pirates, the fun, the sun. Great seat locations starting at just $5. Call 463-1000.
Nobody does it like you.
For high traffic areas, there's the deep cleaning power of the Hoover Steam Vac Deluxe with 5-brush agitator.
Nobody does it like you.
Coming up on WB 17 News at 10, ozone alerts go up across the Delaware Valley as a bubble of hot, sticky air lodges in place, and it will only get worse tomorrow. The 747 takes off to mimic the last moments of doomed TWA Flight 800. Will it provide the answers to the mystery of what happened? 250 miles out in space, a Russian commander develops heart problems. He had been scheduled for a critical spacewalk in just 4 days. And the Flyers sign a new defenseman. We'll have the stories after the fill.
Phillies baseball is being brought to you in part by Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. By Hoover, nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. And by your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. Andrew Jones.
Yeah, he made a bad base running play his last time up after he walked down 4-0 at the time and got picked off first base.
Strike one to Jones. Ball and a strike. Yeah, Mickey made a bad play. There's no question about that. With 2 outs, your cleanup hitter at bat, and pitcher's, getting a little wild anyway, it looks like. Chases a bad ball. Andrew Jones, 1-2 the count.
See how much slow stuff they try to throw to Andrew Jones. Tyler Green's been throwing curveball and a changeup tonight. That changeup he was showing us on the bus, a 3-finger changeup that he's developed, and the Braves have never seen that from him. When they saw him before, he threw everything hard, either fastball or the knuckle curve. That straight change that he's using tonight is a pitch that's new to them.
And he's been effective with it.
Yeah, it has decent movement too, and it kind of squirts out of his hand. As you see Galen Cisco, pitching coach, looking on. Tyler says he's really happy with it. That was just a slider there, or a cutter, or whatever he's trying to throw. But that changeup that he's rolled out a few times tonight's been pretty effective. Not a good ratio.
Nope, more balls than strikes. 70 pitches.
But he's hung in there.
Chopped foul. It'll be Jones, Lemke, and Spear. First 3 batters. Phillies lead 6-0. Bottom of the 4th. There's the Expos leading the Marlins 4-2. Jeff Juden pitching that game.
Yeah, so he just got juiced by Bobby Bonilla for a 2-run homer.
Full count to Jones. He checked his swing. Another base on balls.
I just hate to see that. I mean, Tyler Green's had a 4-run lead and now a 6-run lead tonight. And, let him hit the ball out of the ballpark. Hit it at somebody. But those walks are the ones that eventually, they'll get some men on base and somebody can pop one in this lineup.
It's his 5th walk. Mark Lemke, the batter. 0 for 1.
Braves probably will get the bullpen up, I would think, this time around. They let Brock bat in the 3rd inning, but now here in the 4th, down by 6-0. If they get some men on, you think they'd hit for him.
Ball 1 to Lemke. Tyler Green's only given up 2 hits, but 5 walks. Hits were back-to-back in the 3rd. And the score, all 2. There's a strike outside corner. One of the new pitchers they just brought up.
Kevin Millwood is warming up in the bullpen, a right-hander who they say has a pretty good arm, throws hard, used as a starter at Richmond.
Took something off that pitch.
That was a changeup, wasn't it?
Straight change, I believe.
Yeah, and he's used it from behind in the count a few times tonight. Used it to Klesko earlier.
3-fingered pitch.
Yep, that's a changeup. Good arm. He has pretty good arm speed with it. There it is again.
Check swing.
Scott had trouble here last time making errors in this ballpark, and you know, that's just an easy play there, even though Lemke has a check swing, because Lemke doesn't run all that well. There it is, a check swing on that changeup again. I don't know whether Scott took a peek at second. No, he just missed it. He just didn't come up with it, and he was going to go to first because all you want is an out here.
That's 1st and 2nd, nobody out. With Tim Spear, who grounded out to Rowland his first time up.
Rowland made 3 errors in the series here last time. So evidently he's not real crazy about Turner Field so far.
Looks like a pretty good field.
It does look like a good field.
Ball 1.
There's a guy hit the grand slam last time we were here.
Keith Lockhart. He's still hitting too, I noticed. He pinch hit double the other day with the bases loaded. Ball 2. This is one of the guys, I think, if I remember right, they walked just before Lockhart hit that grand slam.
Who?
Spear?
No, he wasn't here then, was he? They just brought him up.
He hasn't, that's right. He hasn't played in anything. I guess they did just bring him up. There's a strike. 2-1 the count. Tyler's been in trouble in this game so far. He's been able to pitch out of it. Two on, nobody out. 2-1 the count to Spear. Should be easy play for Jeffries. And it was.
He threw another off-speed pitch behind in the count there. Parents doing a pretty good job of guiding Tyler Green through some of these tough situations by throwing off-speed stuff behind in the count. And there he did it again, and he got Spear to jump at that and hit that weak pop-up. Here you go and take a look at it. That looked like another changeup, and you saw him get way out in front of it and hit it straight up.
With 1 out, runners 1st and 2nd with Keith Lockhart. Hitting a whole lot for average, but he's really helped him as a pinch hitter.
This is Bobby Cox's one left-handed move off the bench. So you see he's taking it right here, even though it's a 4th inning, trying to get something on the board. There's the veteran manager.
Ball 1 to Lockhart. Ball 2. Tyler's been behind almost every hitter. Really pretty fortunate that he hasn't been hurt with these 5 walks and pitching behind. Pretty good move back there, but Jones is safe.
Well, that was a real good timing play. I mean, Stocker gave a sign to Tyler Green that he was going to go for the bag. So then it was up to Green whether to step off or wheel around and throw. And as you see, he wheeled around and throw and almost got him.
2-0 to Lockhart. Three-0. Leadoff hitter Jeff Blauser is on deck. Walked him. 6th walk. That loads him with 1 out. That error hurt Tyler Green.
Looks like the Phillies will get the pen up for the first time tonight as Galen Cisco goes to the phone.
Bases loaded, 1 out for Jeff Blauser, who has walked and singled. Infield at double play depth. Green needs an out somewhere.
Billy Brewer, the left-hander, throwing.
Strike 1.
It's one of those things where the manager has to decide on a few things. Number 1, Tyler Green just back off some arm problems, first major league start. 2, you want to win the game. Your team desperately needs wins. The other thing is, in the back of your mind, you like to get him a win, but not at the expense of the ball club.
1-1 the count.
And he has not gone far enough to get a win, obviously, here only in the 4th inning. 5 first pitch strikes tonight. You know, that's a tough way to pitch.
Way low on outside. 2-1 the count.
He's just not pitching like a guy with a 6-run lead.
Well, we'll see. 3-1. Keep throwing like this, the manager's forced to take you out of there.
Right, you make a move early in the game, and then you get into the problems that confront the Phillies constantly. Overuse of their bullpen early on. There's Cisco wants to know if he's ready because there's a left-handed batter on deck. Tucker.
Forces in a run with his 7th walk. Phillies now lead 6-1.
You know, Cisco, is he going to go to the mound? It looks like it. Terry Francona is delivering a message. And apparently he's going to give him one more hitter or else he's just going to stall. See, there's Brewer out there, and you have a left-handed hitter up, then Chipper Jones, who you would rather bat right-handed, and then another left-handed hitter in McGriff, followed by Klesko, a left-handed batter. That's why they have their one left-hander up in the bullpen right now.
Well, I don't think they're going to take him out.
Doesn't look like it. Unless Cisco goes back, and then Francona comes out, and they didn't think Brewer was ready.
He says, I'm all right. Wonder when he first noticed that. Made it hard for himself. Bases loaded, still only 1 out. Michael Tucker is 1 for 2 with a single. Chased a bad pitch.
How about that? After all those balls, he comes out. I guess he thinks he's going to get a groove strike on the first pitch. He's going to hit a grand slam because he sure chased a bad pitch there.
I think that was a changeup. He was way out in front on the swing. That's a strike on Tucker. Missed for that breaking ball. A little high. Ball and a strike on Tucker. Change up again. Way out in front on the swing. 1-2 the count. Tucker's up there looking fastball. You can see that. High foul ball. This will reach the crowd.
Looked like he got a fastball that time, but it was way inside, it appeared, and he kind of jumped at it and hit it foul. But that's what happens after all that off-speed stuff. Or a lot of times a guy will be late. See, that pitch is fairly hittable, but he just jumped at it.
Stays at 1-2 on Tucker. Tucker didn't like it. Close pitch, but
he thought it was outside. That's pitch number 30 here in the 4th inning. Bobby Cox just kind of looking on, and
yeah, I think it was a little outside, not much. A little outside and borderline low. Nonetheless, it's a big strikeout. It's Green's second. Chipper Jones takes a strike. Jones has walked and lined out to left. Bases loaded, 2 outs now. Green's been in a lot of trouble. I mean, he's had a lot of base runners. Braves have already stranded 5, not including the runners in this inning. Low. 1-1 the count. Brewer still heating up. In case he has to get in there for McGriff. Great play, got him. Oh, brother.
He was late getting off the mound, too. Thank goodness he picked it up and got there, because Bronya saved the day there.
That saved extra bases. 1 run, no hits, and the bases left loaded, and 1 error in the inning. After 4, 6-1 Philly.
Here's a look at this week's Mellon PSFS Financial Scoreboard, featuring our best CD rates.
From Toya Pets to Chia Pets, Toyota's commemorating 40 years of being part of America. And to celebrate, a great selection of Toyota certified used vehicles is now available from participating dealers. Each has undergone a 128-point inspection so thorough, it's covered by a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, extending from the original date of purchase, and a 24-hour roadside assistance program, all backed by Toyota. Toyota certified used vehicles. The best new cars make the best used cars.
In the world of tools, there's only one true craftsman. Craftsman makes anything possible.
Yeah.
Mother Nature has provided many of her creatures with natural instincts to help prepare for the changing seasons. Unfortunately, you and I are not among them. On the other hand, we don't have to be. We have something else to help prepare for the season's change. The new LL Bean Fall Catalog. It's in your home right now.
Mark Anderson with a cool towel there for Tyler Green, who has struggled mightily but still has a 6-1 lead. Here's how they scored. It's been mostly the Phillies. Dyer and Dalton sacrifice fly. Scott Rowland an RBI ground. Now Rico Brogna, home run to almost dead center field. Mark Parent, after an intentional walk in front of him, a 2-run double. Then Jeff Blauser's bases loaded walk, but 8 men left on so far for the Atlanta Braves through 4 innings as Tyler Green takes a deep breath there and is still hanging around.
Scott Rowland leads it off. He was a batter when Morandini was thrown out at third. New pitcher is Kevin Millwood. First major league debut. Big right-hander. Just brought up from Richmond.
6'4", 205 out of Gastonia, North Carolina.
Strike one on Rowland. Look out. Ooh. Oh, that almost hit him.
Gastonia, North Carolina is right there on 95 on the way to Florida every year.
Rowland has a run batted in and a walk. Chases a bad pitch. 1-2 the count. Hitting at 293.
Kevin Millwood's an 11th round pick of the Braves back in 1993.
Laid off that outside breaking ball. 2-2 the count.
Had a 5-0 run this year with a 1.73 earned run average and 6 starts for Richmond. He was the International League's pitcher of the week at one point.
Full count. Owens walked once when he started out 0-2 and got a walk.
This guy had a no-hitter this year for 8 2/3 innings against Syracuse too before it was broken up on him.
Chased a bad pitch. Millwood strikes out his first batter in the major leagues.
One young player to another. Rookie against rookie. A high fastball and Rowland chases it.
It was way up there. Greg Jeffries walked, scored a run, grounded out. Officially 0 for 1. Phillies lead 6-1. We're in the top of the 5th. Strike one on Jeffries. A slider right over. 2 strikes.
It's a breaking ball. So far, fastball, slider. Throws everything hard.
Look out. Went in there a little too far almost.
Yeah, but that's real good when you have an 0-2 count to go in there like that. especially to a guy like Jeffries who dives into pitches.
Right field. Tucker makes the catch. 2 outs. Rico Brogna will bat. He's hit the 2-run homer and was intentionally walked and scored a run after that walk. Ball 1 to Rico. What Tyler Green was doing to Jeffries in there in the dugout, trying to settle him down or something.
Well, it looks like they're going to let him come out for the 5th inning too, since he got out of that jam, and give him a chance to go long enough to potentially win this ball game.
Give him a chance to pitch a good inning.
He's already thrown 99 pitches through 4 innings.
2 strikes on Brogna, or a ball and 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2.
That was a little slower one he just threw there. So looks like he has a fastball, slider, and that was close to a curveball.
Struck him out. Phil's go in order. Braves bat in the 5th. Phil's lead 6-1.
If you've been waiting to buy a new minivan, the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. With up to $1,000 cash back on Caravan, or pay this low price for our 7-passenger Caravan, making it the lowest priced minivan in the industry. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
We're unwrapping something new at Wendy's. Fresh stuffed pitas. Like our Garden Ranch chicken pita with crispy vegetables and tender chunks of marinated chicken breast filet. Wendy's 4 new fresh stuffed pitas. Fresh like a salad, filling like a sandwich.
Who knew something called a pita would taste this good?
Honey, I need a Wendy's Frosty.
It's late, sweetie. Wendy's is closed. But you know, if they were open, I'd be down there in a second, because that's how much I love you.
Now Wendy's pickup window is open till midnight every night.
Hi.
Did you happen to get Biggie Fries?
When I call, I don't want to get bounced around or put on hold.
When that phone rings,
Your name is Mrs. Langley?
it's my call, it's no one else's.
And check this problem for you.
And it's up to me to get whatever answers you need, no matter what. All the information that I need is easily accessible and at my fingertips. Did you say you're experiencing flickering lights? If I can't find the answer, my coworkers will help me out. I enjoy dealing with people. Thank you for calling Pico Energy. My name is Demetrius. How may I help?
Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Dardis. This is a Mazda Sports Break. The Flyers have landed one of hockey's top free agents. 28-year-old defenseman Luke Richardson agreeing to terms in a 5-year deal worth $12.6 million. He's a 6'4", 210-pounder, 10 years of NHL experience. Richardson spent the last 6 of those seasons in Edmonton. And with Eagles training camp just a few days away, workers at Lehigh are making some final adjustments. We will have that story tonight on WB 17 News at 10. Right after the game, let's go back to Atlanta now to Richie and Wheels. Guys?
Thank you. Look at that picture, Wheels.
That's your basic half moon, huh?
Moon and the Mars planet. We're hearing a lot about that lately. Fred McGriff leads it off against Tyler Green. McGriff has flied out and walked. All on to McGriff. McGriff, Klesko, and Andrew Jones here in the bottom of the 5th.
And, Wayne Gomes is up as the inning begins.
Ripped into right field.
Well, McGriff didn't run at all.
No, he just trotted down there.
Yeah, that was a strange I don't know. I mean, Darren Dalton had to go hard to his left, trip, and if you run hard on that play out of the box, it's an easy double. And McGriff just trots down the line. There's the pitch, and he hooks it towards the line, and he just doesn't run. See, that's good for the Phillies. I mean, you keep the double play in order. You keep a lot of things in order. See, he trips himself there.
It was a long run for Dutch, too. Ryan Klesko takes outside, ball one. Klesko has flied out, struck out.
They have the right-hander up beginning this inning because after Klesko, then you get into right-handed batters with no left-hander available off the bench for the Braves.
Popped him up. Morandini right there, and that's the play. One out.
Morandini looked like he was shading his eyes almost because these lights are so bright. Looked like it's sunshine.
Business person special number 3 coming up Monday, July 21st. 1:05 start against the Pirates. Terrific chance to take the afternoon off, take in some baseball. Fun all around. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Order tickets easily by phone, 463-1000, and be sure to inquire about the daily special. Or purchase tickets in person at the Center City Ticket Office, Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets. Andrew Jones takes a strike. Griff's on first, one out. Strike 2 on Jones. Jones has walked twice. Scored the only Atlanta run after all those walks. Fouled off.
They went for the 0-2 pitch there with a fastball. Now, you know, Andrew Jones is really vulnerable to off-speed stuff, so it'll be interesting to see whether Parent goes back to try and get a strikeout or an out on an off-speed pitch. But right there, they threw a fastball down the middle. Not a bad idea when you have a 5-run lead and all these walks. But Mark likes to call breaking balls or off-speed pitches. Yep, there's one there. This is some kind of a changeup, or probably it looked like a breaking ball he just called. I think he put down 3 fingers. Yeah, it was a slider.
Slider up. 1-2 the count. Griff doesn't steal much, and I don't think he'll be going here trailing by 5. He has 4 stolen bases.
Well, they're holding him on. If it were a left-handed pull hitter up, they probably would play off him, knowing he's not going to run. But in this case, they're taking their chances and keeping him close to keep the double play in order with a speedy right-handed batter up.
2-2 the count on Jones. Fouled it off. Chased a low pitch. (6-1) Phillies, bottom of the 5th. 4 runs in the first, 2 in the third. Full count to Jones. Had him 0-2, now it's full.
It's 8 walks. The basic Ocho.
8 walks he's allowed.
There is Wayne Gomes, who we mentioned is warming up, and he was up to start the inning. Most walks in the game by a Phillies pitcher, 10 by Scott Ruffcorn in a game against Florida on the 24th of June.
I believe Tyler can beat that if he keeps trying. And Lemke, time is called. First and second, 1 out. Infield hoping for a double play ball from Mark Lemke. reached base on an error, and he's grounded out. He's 0 for 2 officially. Ball 1. Thrown well over 100 pitches now. We're in the 5th inning. Boots the ball. I think that'll be an error. The bases are loaded.
Whether he got screened by Andrew Jones or what, but all he did was slap at that. I mean, he did not use the usual soft-handed approach that he has. I think you'll see if we have a replay here how he just bats at it.
Just kind of scooped it.
Yeah. Watch this, and it's not a ball that you necessarily have to scoop. It's a high chop right here. Yeah, see, it got a little bit of a short hop, but I think he got screened by Andrew Jones there, and just at the last second sees it and slapped at it. He did not see that ball at the last second. That's why he was so awkward going after that.
Bases are loaded. 1 out for Tim Spear. There it goes. There it goes. Grand slam home run. Unbelievable. Tim Spear, a grand slam home run, and the Phillies lead is now 6-5. Tim Spear. Tim Spear, a grand slam home run. Well, that was entirely possible if anybody ever hit a home run for the Braves, because there were a lot of base runners on.
Yeah, and the error prior to that loaded them up, and this is just what happened to the Phillies last time they were here. They had a lead and a grand slam. Oh, boy. That ball ran right into the middle of the plate. Hit me, and he does.
Jeffries in left field didn't even wiggle. Just watch that go. Pitcher hitting here. Kevin Millwood takes a strike and a ball. And this nice, comfortable lead is now 1. 1-2 the count. Millwood's first major league at bat. Millwood. I figured somebody might hit a home run, but I didn't think it would be Tim Spear.
Tim Spear has hit home runs off the Phillies before and hurt them in games when he used to be with Montreal. Has a lot of power. The guy, you know, is obviously a journeyman, but you throw a fastball where he threw that pitch to him, and you know, you become a lot better hitter.
Leadoff hitter Jeff Blauser been on base 3 times with 2 walks and a single. Strike 1 on Blauser.
Braves had been 0 for 7 prior to that with runners in scoring position tonight, but you know, you go to the well enough with a team like this, they're going to get you.
Stocker, good play, and that'll retire the side, but 4 runs and only 2 hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. After 5 innings, Phillies lead the Braves 6-5.
This is it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
That was only the first out of the game.
Make it a Bud Light.
That's a real beaver.
Small cars used to drive like this. Then a big change came along. The all-new 97 Ford Escort. It's got a bigger engine with more horsepower than Civic. A sport suspension you can't get on Cavalier. Plus, big car room and a 4-speed automatic Neon doesn't even offer. Now get Escort with $1,000 cash back or 2.9 financing. That's $1,000 cash back or finance for 2.9% for 48 months. And own what's new. Ford Escort. Only from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Scotty, you know, the fans in this town really like it when you get dirty. So if you haven't slid on your first at bat, you got to come up here and take care of it yourself. You got to put a little dirt on here. Got to mix it in. Then, Scotty, you got to put a little tobacco juice on here.
But I don't chew, Mick.
Little chalk.
I think I'll try the natural way.
Roll the dice, way to third. It's a hit, first slide, triple.
I hate it when they show these young guys the ropes.
Phillies have the Expos and Bucks coming in on the next homestand. Expos are in for just 2 games. Wednesday and Thursday, both 7:35 starts. That Wednesday game is a season opener part 2. Dollar Dog Day, Fan Zone Day. Pittsburgh in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday is Run the Bases Day. That's a 1:15 start. Sunday is Boston Market Action Poster Day, a 1:35 start. And Monday, Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. Call 463-1000. For tickets, Mark Parent is 1 for 2 with a double and a couple of runs batted in. Left field. Ooh. Custer almost misplayed that ball. That's 1 down. Kevin Stocker will bat. He is doubled and lined out. 1 for 2 in the night.
Here it is, the play where he almost overruns. He hooked that ball a little bit, did Mark Parent, and Plesko is not a great outfielder and almost ran right under it. Kevin Sefcik's in the on-deck circle right now to bat for Tyler Green, so they gave him a chance and unfortunately threw the grand slam in the 5th inning.
One of those runs were unearned, but 3 earned in that inning. Ball 1 to Stocker. Sefcik. Base hit. Stocker's second hit of the game. And he's a 1-out base runner. I think Derek May is coming out now. So if they have a runner on, Derek May is going to bat for Tyler Green.
Ladies and gentlemen, your future please for the Phillies now batting for Green, number 34, Derek May.
Bill's trying to put something else together. Leo Mazzoni's out again. Phillies have really been burned by the Braves on that grand slammer. Lockhart hit one as a pinch hitter the last time the Phillies were in town when they had a lead.
They've hit at least 5 grand slams this year of the Braves, because Chipper Jones had 3 grand slams in 13 games. The Lockhart one and this one tonight, so that's 5 of them that we know of.
Ready to pitch to Derek May. Ball 1 with Stocker. Hitting at 245.
They've hit a total of 7 slams this year, have the Braves.
1-1 the count to May. Ruben Amaro.
there's a problem with me, Drake Cummings. Because you normally wouldn't use a pinch hitter in that spot, would you?
No.
In the 5th inning. I mean, in the 6th inning. And Otero's not available tonight. He is not here. Yeah, because his wife was in a car accident yesterday, so he had to take her to Philadelphia.
Oh, Stocker hit well, but caught by Michael Tucker. Stocker has to hustle back. They hit it hard. Right at the right fielder.
Wait a minute. What they call here? Catcher's interference?
Must have been. May's on first.
Yeah.
Stocker's on second.
Mark Hirschbeck's call.
That's an error on the catcher then.
Yeah, that's what they're calling. Catcher's interference. Error on the catcher. No time at bat for Derek May.
So that's a break for the Phillies.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, Spear, who just hit the grand slam home run, must just tip Derek May. See, the runner was going, so he's a little anxious coming forward. Yep, there he is. He tips his bat.
Nice call by Hirschbeck. And this is Ruben Amaro. We don't know why he's pinch hitting for Cummings. He hurt. 2 on, 1 out.
Yeah, well, you have to think there's a problem there because you wouldn't want to use up a pinch hitter in the 5th inning when you're short an outfielder anyway tonight.
Ball 1 on Amaro. Stocker's at second. May at first.
It's the 6th inning, I mean.
Yeah, that 5th inning's over.
Yeah.
There's another base runner.
Double steal.
Double steal. Stocker and May.
They stole that on Millwood, the pitcher. He did not even look back, and Derek May saw Stocker go, and he just took off behind him. Here you go. This is stolen on the pitcher. The catcher here, Spear, has no chance. In fact, he was really foolish to throw it, and Chipper Jones, see what a good player he is. He comes way forward to make sure he catches that ball and doesn't even mess around with trying to tag him out.
Infield in. Second and third, 1 out. Here's ball 3 to Amaro. Orlandini's the on-deck hitter.
Nobody up in the bullpen for the Braves now either, so they're leaving the young pitcher out here to find out something.
Walked him. Bases are loaded. 1 out. First walk given up by Millwood. Mickey Morandini.
Bobby Cox has that has that cap back on his head, you know, kind of that exasperated look, like, look, I got mental relief problems. That's why I made all these moves over the weekend, and now I got to find out something about these guys.
Now the infield goes back. Double play depth. Morandini's officially 0 for 1. Walk, sacrifice. With a slider right there over the plate for a strike.
It's a huge spot in this ballgame because they just got a break on catcher's interference. The Braves have come back to within a run, have a lot of momentum, and the Phillies need to do something here positive for themselves.
Right field shallow. Tucker's got a good arm, and the runner will be held. Well, they didn't do anything there. Tucker was held up at third, and Tucker wasn't very deep out there by the time he caught that ball.
Had to hold him. You know, I mean, he's really shallow. Plus, he's charging the ball the whole time. He has everything in his favor. It's a slider that got in on him. Jam more, and you look at Tucker. I mean, he's in full flight towards the plate. Can't send a guy there. It's suicide.
It's up to Dutch Dalton. Dalton was knocked in a run on a sacrifice fly. He's walked, scored a run, and struck out. Ball 1 to Dalton. Tucker on third, May on second, Amaro on first. 2 outs. He had a cut at that ball, fouled it off. Ball and a strike on Dalton. Dutch is hitting at 270. Fouled off left side. So Millwood's ahead in the count, 1-2 on Dalton. Not a good cut, fouled back. So they're putting this Kevin Millwood to the test. Eyeball 2-2 on Dalton.
Yeah, they're trying to find out something about him. I mean, the 2 other young kids that he brought up were both used for 2 innings last night. Too early to go to Bilecki and Wallers, obviously. So it's up to Millwood right here. They do have a left-hander, Embry, available.
Foul ball, topped it right at the plate. Stays alive. 2-2. Jimmy Cox. A little concerned. Center field, Andrew Jones right there. And that'll retire the side. No runs. 1 hit. 1 error, bases loaded, left loaded. Braves bat in the 6th. Phillies lead 6-5.
How to fit a ton of features into a half-ton truck. The Mazda SE5. The Mazda SE5. Have it all for $11,950. Lease the Mazda SE5 for $159 a month.
Blockbuster has all the hot summer hits, more hot new releases, and more copies of them. Absolute Power, Vegas Vacation, Relic, Beverly Hills Ninja, Metro, Scream. We're turning up the heat with thousands of great movies. Blockbuster's hot summer hits. Take them home and make it a Blockbuster night.
A colorful action poster free, compliments of Boston Market, and tons of extra fun things for fans 14 and under, Sunday, July 20th at 1:35 when the Phillies take on the Pirates. Great seat locations starting at just $5. Call 463-1000.
Buying a new wet dry vac? Remember, only one has 2 separate tanks. One for wet, one for dry. So it never leaves a mess in the tank.
Nobody does it like you.
Phillies baseball is being brought to you in part by your local Dodge dealers. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. Eco Energy, focusing our energies on you. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you.
Ruben Amaro is going to stay in the game in center field. Meadray Cummings was removed from the game as we suspected. There's some kind of an injury. It's diagnosed as a mild right ankle sprain, and Billy Brewer's the new pitcher.
Facing
This is Tucker.
Michael Tucker drew his record. Not bad. Like,
well, you're at the part of the lineup where you really want to use a left-hander if at all possible, because you have Tucker, Turn, Jones around McGriff and Klesko.
Ball and a strike on Tucker. He singled and struck out, grounded out. 2-1. Tucker, Chipper Jones, and Fred McGriff, the first three batters here in the sixth. Miss. 3-1 the count. Popped him up, foul. And the crowd, full count to Tucker. Full count to Michael Tucker, leading off here in the bottom of the sixth. Phillies have a one-run lead, 6-5. The 2 slider fouled that off. He's chased ball 4 twice. And there's ball 4. Another walk.
9 of them.
Brewer's first. Tyler Green had 8 of them. Chipper Jones officially 0 for 2. Batting right-handed now. He was going to try a bunt there, took it outside for a ball.
Well, if he bunts, he's bunting for a base hit, that's for sure, which is not a real good play with left-handed batters coming up and a left-handed pitcher out there.
Fouled it off. Tucker's on first. He'll steal some bases. I don't know if he'll try on Brewer. Stolen 10. Lob throw to first. Chipper Jones steps out of the batter's box. Base hit. Braves have runners first and second. Nobody out. Fred McGriff.
It's Jerry Spradlin getting up in the bullpen. A couple of left-handed batters coming in a row. McGriff and Klesko. Brewer tries to go away from Chipper Jones with his changeup, and he goes right back over his head into center field.
Well, McGriff flied out, walked, singled, scored a run. Spradlin. McGriff won't be bunting.
No. Fred McGriff bunts here. He's got a base hit. Where all the infielders are positioned. Unless he bunts it somewhere near the pitcher. Look at that.
Ball one to McGriff. Good pitch. 1-1 the count to McGriff. McGriff hitting at 279. Big old curveball that broke down. McGriff didn't like it.
I think McGriff thought that ball might have been a little high, the way he reacted to it, and may have had a
down
point.
in there pretty well.
Yeah. It had a lot of down spin on it, that's for sure, but it was a looper.
Like the old drop. 1-2 the count. Just outside. 2-2. Braves have two good base runners on. Tucker and Jones. Just inside, full count.
Not much they can do.
How many ideas?
Strike it help. Another left-handed batter you saw waiting on deck is Ryan Klesko.
I don't think they'll be running, though. The base runs will be running.
That's what Mark Parent's doing right now. He's out in front of home plate giving signs of the middle infielders on what they're going to do should the base runners go.
A line drive you could hit into a triple play.
But a lot of managers don't like to start base runners with nobody out, with 2 on and nobody out. We'll see what they do.
Brewer chased him back. Start all over here. Ball 4. Another walk. Bases are loaded. Nobody out. Well, they'll pitch to Klesko. Brewer will pitch to Klesko.
Yeah, and they'll hope he can get an out here on Klesko without much damage, and then probably go to Spradlin with a right-handed batter, Andrew Jones, coming up next.
Hard to believe the Phillies had a 6-0 lead here not that long ago, and a 6-1 lead here not that long ago. Last inning, as a matter of fact. Fighting for their lives here. Braves have the bases loaded, nobody out. A couple of walks and a single.
Darren Dalton taking a little rest out there in right field. Amaro, the new center fielder. Tough to play defense when you get this kind of pitching, too.
The Ryan Klesko. He is flied out, struck out, popped out.
Everybody back for a double play, although Klesko doesn't hit a whole lot of ground balls with that big uppercut swing he has now. Man, he's turned into a dead pull hitter.
Yeah, he reached for that pitch.
Well, he didn't used to be like. I mean, when he first came up, he'd hit balls to left and left center. Now, if he does it, it's an accident, or he's late, because he fires a hip out, tries to pull everything. That's why you got to stay away from him.
1 strike on Klesko. Time is called. Low and outside. Yeah, these pitchers know, how to pitch these hitters, but you got to throw the ball.
So it seems like the bases have been loaded a lot tonight. They have been.
You have to make your pitches once in a while.
There's another one.
I don't believe it.
Salami.
Grand slam, Ryan Klesko. All of a sudden, the Braves are ahead 9-6.
And they have just set a club record with their 8th grand slam of the season. 2 of them tonight.
They threw him a high inside pitch.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, you throw it where he can hit it. Can't hit the ball away right now, but that ball was very hittable. It was probably a ball, but he tomahawked it out of here.
Terry Francona's coming out. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
Here it is. Look how high it is, too. And Klesko just gets right on top of it. And the wall is real low in right field. Ball sailed right into him. Grand slam.
Still nobody out. Pitching change for the Phillies. Braves lead 9-6. We'll be back in the morning.
Mother Nature has provided many of her creatures with natural instincts to help prepare for the changing seasons. Unfortunately, you and I are not among them. On the other hand, we don't have to be. We have something else to help prepare for the season's change. The new LL Bean Fall Catalog. It's in your home right now.
Spradlin is the new pitcher. He comes in here facing Andrew Jones. Still nobody out in the inning. We had a leadoff walk, a single by Chipper Jones, another walk to McGriff, grand slammer by Ryan Klesko. And all of a sudden the Phillies are 3 runs back. Terry Spradlin, 44th game. It's had some strikeouts. Ryan Klesko, who probably was throwing a pitch about the only place he could hit it, up and in, because he falls away, opens up, tomahawk a high pitch. Here's Andrew Jones. He's been up 3 times, walked 3 times. Chases that slider, strike 1. 1-1 the count. Well, the Phillies were flirting with it all night. They've given up 10 walks. 10 walks. It's like 10 hits. 2-1 the count to Andrew Jones. Pop up on the infield. Stopper's there. Makes the play. 1 out. Mark Lemke will bat.
Second baseman Mark Lemke.
Well, Lemke's been on twice on errors. When he's grounded out, he's officially 0 for 3. Still some baseball to be played in this game. The Braves pitching hasn't been all that hot so far. Strike one on Lemke.
What they've done is the young pitcher Millwood got out of a big jam, as we talked about in the top of this inning, how important that could have been in this game. It is. And right now he is the potential pitcher of record for the Braves.
Ball and a strike on Lemke. Hitting at 221. Slow hopper rolling. Makes the play, and Lemke's out for the second out of the inning. Tim Spear.
Tim Spear is only here because Javi Lopez broke his thumb in the All-Star game. Here's Rowland, who booted a ball just like that when it was hit earlier by Lemke. This time he makes a good play on it, throws him out.
Spear hit a grand slammer in the 5th inning.
Right, and Javi Lopez hurt. They brought Spear up from AAA, where they had signed him after he was released by Kansas City during spring training this year.
Ball one to Spear.
Who saw him when he used to play with the Montreal Expos. And I mentioned earlier he hurt the Phillies with a couple of long balls in certain games. And certainly did tonight.
Ball and a strike.
Bobby Cox has that hat down now. He's looking a little better. You can always tell Coxie when he's you know, a little bit disturbed because that hat goes back. Now it's down.
2-1. 2 innings in a row, the Braves have scored 4 runs in each inning and only 2 hits.
Well, they had left 8 on through the first 4. So in the last 2 innings, they picked them up.
2-2 the count to Spear. A catch, and they'll retire the side, but 4 runs on 2 hits, nobody left on base. Harry Kellis joins Wheels in the 7th after 6 full. 9-6 Atlanta.
Let's go back to the situation of Prohibition. Prohibition was an extremely difficult period for the Bush family. That period almost broke the company. Grandfather had a couple of choices. So he went into the yeast business, he went into the soft drink business, he went into the making of carriages, he went into the making of cabinets. When Prohibition finally came to an end, my father wanted to do something for his father. He did so by presenting him with an 8-horse hitch, the Clydesdales. The Clydesdales were taken down Pennsylvania Avenue, where the first case of beer was delivered to then-President Roosevelt. The Clydesdales today are a symbol of that quality, of that tradition, of that excellence that is the hallmark of Budweiser, that is the hallmark of Anheuser-Busch.
With my old health plan, I needed a referral to see my gynecologist. Now, look, I'm a big girl, but the whole ordeal was kind of uncomfortable. But that was then. We switched to Keystone, you know, back by the Blues. They don't make me get permission to see my gynecologist. They understand that I can handle it myself whenever I choose.
Direct Access, another innovation from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
Keystone understands women.
Oh, great prices. If you like bargains, check out 10321.
10321 saves me 50% on all calls over 20 minutes.
I can call Canada for 9 cents a minute. I didn't even have to sign up.
10321. Dial it to save.
After 6 innings of play, the Braves 9 and the Phillies 6. After the game, get the most news in 30 minutes. It's WB 17 News at 10 right here on WB 17. A couple of changes for the Atlanta Braves. Mark Lemke will leave the game. Tony Graffinino moves into play second base. And with the young right-hander Millwood now with a chance to win this ball game, the Braves will go to the hard-throwing left-hander Alan Embry. Embry, the new pitcher. Graffinino at second. Scott Rowland set the leadoff for the Phillies here in the 7th inning. And for play-by-play, here's Harry.
All right, thanks, Wheels. Embry is 1-1 with a 3.65 ERA. 24 2/3 innings, 22 strikeouts, and 12 walks. He came over along with Kenny Lofton from the Cleveland Indians. And the Marquise Grissom David Justice deal. Embry will hit in the 7 spot and Tony Graffinino in the 9 spot. Embry, a 27-year-old out of Vancouver, Washington. Takes a strike. Embry originally a 5th-round draft pick at Cleveland in the '89 draft. 9-6. Atlanta leads it. Ground ball sharply hit. Graffinino gets a chance and makes it nicely. So Graffinino right out of the chute into the game. Got a tough fielding play and made it nicely 1 down. It'll bring up Greg Jeffries. Jeffries has walked and scored a run, grounded out, and flied out to right field.
Here's Graffinino. It does find the new guy a lot of times. He had to make the play to his right, keep the hands down, made a pretty good play on a ball that was hard hit.
48,118 the paid attendance here tonight. 1 ball and no strikes to Jeffries. Ground ball. What a great grab by Chipper Jones. Jones takes a hit away from Greg Jeffries. He was playing him in and grounded sharply. Caught it when it was almost behind him. Fine play by Chipper.
Yeah, it's strictly a reaction athletic play by Chipper Jones, who is a great athlete. As Jeffries hits this ball pretty hard. And all he does is just dive to his right, extend, catch the ball in the webbing, and then when he gets to his feet, knows he has a lot of time to throw him out. Watch this part of the play. Just takes his time, uses a crow hop, throws him out. Nice play.
Rico Brogna has hit a 2-run homer. He's been intentionally walked, and he is struck out. One ball and no strikes to Brogna.
6-0 lead in this game, but Atlanta scored 9 unanswered runs, including a pair of grand slams. Tim Spear and Ryan Klesko. Two and one to Rico Brogna. Well hit to center, but Andrew Jones glides to it, and that will retire the side. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. Stretch time here at Turner Field. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 9-6 Atlanta.
There's a sea of minivans out there, but one stands above the rest. Ford Windstar, the only minivan to earn the government's 5-star safety rating, higher than Dodge and Chrysler. A 200-horsepower V6 is more powerful, too. And over 40 standard safety features help keep your family safe. Ford Windstar, an island of quality and safety in the sea of life. Now get $1,000 cash back on Windstar, or low 4.8 financing for 48 months. Only from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
We're unwrapping something new at Wendy's. Fresh stuffed pitas, like our Garden Ranch chicken pita with crispy vegetables and tender chunks of marinated chicken breast filet. Wendy's 4 new fresh stuffed pitas, fresh like a salad, filling like a sandwich.
Who knew something called a pita would taste this good?
Honey, I need a Wendy's Frosty.
It's late, sweetie. Wendy's is closed. But you know, if they were open, I'd be down there in a second, because that's how much I love you.
Now Wendy's pickup window is open till midnight every night.
Hi.
Did you happen to get piggy fries?
This is Dick Vermeil with an important message. Personal choice, the flexible, high-quality, and affordable health coverage is available in Pennsylvania. Only from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield, the folks you can lean on.
Summary of the story of this one are the grand slam home runs. Tyler Green started, but he was ineffective with all those walks. He did get out of a lot of jams, but finally one of the slams off him. Millwood with 2 innings pitch, and he is the pitcher of record, one of the 3 pitchers called up by the Braves on Saturday. Rico Brogna hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. Braves with 2 grand slams tonight, a total of 8 this year, which is a franchise record. Not just Atlanta, but Milwaukee included, and Boston evidently. Spear and Klesko with the home runs here tonight. 8 grand slams in one season, and it is what, July 14th.
Yeah, they've got couple more months, 2.5 months to get some more. Bobby Cox out talking to Mark Hirschbeck, the plate umpire. Tony Graffinino will lead it off for Atlanta. He'll be batting for the first time. Came in along with Alan Embry. Graffinino hitting at .281. 2 homers, 7 RBIs. And a cut, fouled it back. One of Graffinino's home runs coming against the Phils off Ron Blazer.
Hit 2 of them, didn't he, against the Phillies? Or maybe there's just 1.
And he opens the 7th with a base hit. They bring on Jeff Blauser.
They hit one off Matt Beach here the last time the Phillies were here, and then the one you just mentioned, Harry. Yeah.
Both of them off the Phils. Singles here, and Blauser has been on base 3 of the 4 times he's been up. He's walked, singled, walked, and grounded out. Came in second in the National League in on-base percentage. He won't hurt that tonight with his on-base first 3 times up.
Yeah, he was out for a couple games in the Mets series here over the weekend with a sore back. He's done a very good job leading off for them because Lofton's been out for a long time.
Lofton was activated the day before the All-Star break and went to the All-Star game and was put back on the disabled list after the All-Star game.
Yeah, he hasn't played. for quite some time since he injured himself. I think it was that series with Montreal.
Not sure when. He has a groin muscle pull. The fellow they've got filling in for him is
not bad.
A very fine player, Andrew Jones. Covers a lot of ground in center field.
There is Andrew Jones talking to Lofton. We have not seen Lofton play this year. He's been injured all 3 series so far.
And when we get back to Veterans Stadium, we will not see the highly touted Montreal rookie Vladimir Guerrero. He's injured again. Three balls and a strike. Runner goes, called strike, and a great throw, and out at second base is Graffinino. That Parent comes down Graffinino for out number 1 here in the 7th.
And Mark really fires out of here too. He had a good pitch to handle, a fastball away right on top of his throw, got a lot on it. Easy out at second.
Full count to Blauser. Fouled straight back, still 3-2. Nine 6 Braves lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That one jars Mark Hirschbeck, the plate umpire. Bowser fouls it back. Parent will give Hirschbeck a chance to regroup as he walks out to talk to Spradlin.
Right in that collarbone area, got him the right side. That's why he fired that ball underhand back to the pitcher.
And Parent knows how those feel, so he's taking a little time to let Hirschbeck regroup.
Mark's had a couple long games behind the dish. He had Friday night's game at Florida with all that rain, and now he's had this one tonight with 1,000 pitches.
3-2 to Blauser. Struck him out. First strikeout for Spradlin. And it will bring up Michael Tucker. Tucker's hit into a fielder's choice, singled, struck out, and walked. Kurt Schilling talking it over with Terry Francona. Schilling will be pitching on Wednesday night when the Phillies are home against Montreal.
Paper's full of Schilling talk everywhere we go, seems like, and here a Schilling story again today, being interviewed all over the place about how much the Braves would like to have him for obvious reasons.
And a lot of clubs would like to have him, no question about that. Spradlin is throwing strikes, which is good to see because the Phillies pitchers just have not been doing that. Bases on balls. And the rule of this staff. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Jerry Spradlin. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, none left. We move to the 8th, 9-6 Atlanta.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
When it comes to value, only one sport utility wins the race.
Chevy Blazer LS 4-door 4x4. Because Blazer is priced over $1,200 less than Pathfinder XE, over $1,900 less than Explorer XLT, and over $2,000 less than 4Runner SR5. And now you can lease a Blazer for just $289 a month for 36 months. Initial payment $19.99. Or buy any Blazer now and get $1,000 cash back. Financial security in an insecure world. Only at your local Chevrolet and Geo dealer.
Blockbuster has all the hot summer hits, more hot new releases, and more copies of them. Absolute Power, Vegas Vacation, Relic, Beverly Hills Ninja, Metro, Scream. We're turning up the heat with thousands of great movies. Blockbuster's hot summer hits. Take them home and make it a Blockbuster night.
Phillies baseball is being brought to you in part by your Quality Plus Ford dealers in the all-new Ford Escort. And by Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. Rafael Belliard comes into play shortstop, replacing Jeff Blauser. As we move to the 8th inning of a 9-6 game, Braves lead. Mark Parrott will lead it off. He'll be followed by Kevin Stocker, and then a pinch hitter for pitcher Jerry Spradlin. Parrott doubled in a pair of runs. He is 1 for 3. And Ricky Bottalico gets up in the Phil's bullpen. Mike Cather is up in Atlanta's bullpen. Line drive hit off the bat of Parrott, his second hit of the night.
Had 3 good swings, which is really nice for him. And the 3 straight balls he's hit right on the nose. The double after there was intentional walk in front of him. The line drive last time up, and a line drive base hit there. It's been tough for him this year. He hasn't played a whole lot, and when he's had a chance to play, he hasn't been able to do much.
They'll bring up Kevin Stocker. He is doubled, lined out, and singled. Kevin Jordan moves into the on-deck circle. He'll bat for the pitcher, Jerry Spradlin.
You know, the Braves have been coughing up a lot of leads lately, so even though you know, they've dramatically gone ahead in this game, there's a little bit of uneasiness probably involved here.
A ball's and a strike to Kevin Stocker. Inside out foul down the first base side. 0-2 to Stocker. In the 8th, Atlanta leading by 3. The gap in left center field, but it's going to be caught out there by Ryan Klesko. Parrott has to scurry back to first base. And it'll bring up Kevin Jordan. Kevin Jordan pinch hitting for Jerry Spradlin.
Here is Ryan Klesko, and you see him putting that left hand up and running Andrew Jones off. Andrew Jones is going to catch almost everything he can get near. But in that case, he ran him off it.
And he probably could have caught that ball, too, yeah.
Caught it easily if Klesko hadn't done that.
Kevin Jordan hitting a .227 as a pinch hitter, 8 for 31 with 2 home runs. Be a wild pitch by Embry, enabling Parrott to move up to second base.
There are wild pitches, and then there's this one. Look at this thing. Coming right at you. I think Andrew Jones probably figured he would rather not catch that ball as opposed to getting run over by Kleska, who has a lot of adrenaline after that slam.
Bobby Cox is coming out and evidently going to make a pitching change here with a count 1 ball and no strikes to Kevin Jordan.
One of his rookie brigade, it looks like.
He has not made the wave to the bullpen. Now he does. He makes the wave to the bullpen. So this will be it for Embry. Pitching change for the Braves. We're in the 8th inning. It's 9-6 Atlanta. Back after these messages.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
If you've been waiting to buy a new minivan, the Dodge Big Summer Clearance plays right into your hands. You see, it's even bigger than you might think. With up to $1,000 cash back on Caravan, or pay this low price for our 7-passenger Caravan, making it the lowest price minivan in the industry. So hurry to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, because if you haven't figured it out already, it's big. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Back at Turner Field on the Toyota National League scoreboard, the Marlins and Montreal are now in the 11th inning, tied at 4-4. Cincinnati leads St. Louis 4-2. That game in the 8th. Pittsburgh came back after trailing the Mets and beat them 5-4. And the Cubs lead Houston by a score of 6-3 in the 7th. Slugfest, of course, at Coors Field. Both teams got 4 runs in the first. Mike Piazza and Todd Zeile home runs, but Colorado has taken a 5-4 lead in the 4th. San Diego leading San Francisco 1-0 in the 2nd inning. Tony Gwynn has extended his hitting streak in that game to 19 consecutive games. And Mike Kapler is the new pitcher coming on for Atlanta. 6'2", 195-pounder. 26 years old, out of Folsom, California.
Tony Gwynn came into the game tonight batting .398 with Larry Walker .406. So those two have just been unbelievable. As you look at that one appearance by Cathers, who's been called up from AAA along with 2 other guys. He's a little bit of a side armor there, it looks like.
He started the year at Greenville AA, 5-2 with a 4.34 ERA in 22 games, and moved up to Richmond where he was 0-0 with 3 saves and a 1.73 ERA. And he'll face Kevin Jordan with a count 1 ball and no strikes. Mark Parent at second base and 1 out. Center field, Andrew Jones. What a fine catch by Andrew Jones. He line drive that he just spears like it's nothing.
He makes everything look so pretty. He got a little bit awkward on that one, and he hurt himself. I think he knocked the wind out of himself here because as he leaps for it, he loses his balance. See, he didn't plan to fall. Oh, right on that belly. And he got the wind knocked out of him a little bit, but still gets the ball back smartly to the infield. He is really good. He was not planning to take that tumble there, though. See, that hurt his rib cage a little bit.
Yeah. 2 outs, and here's Ruben Amaro. He has walked in his only at bat. Came in as a pinch hitter for Midray Cummings. Cummings a slightly sprained right ankle. Be on a day-to-day basis.
Kind of like us.
1 ball and no strikes to Amaro. One and 1. Cather was originally in the Texas Rangers organization. Braves signed him as a free agent last year. One ball and 2 strikes to Ruben Amaro.
Looks like a guy that has to be a lot tougher on right-handed batters than left because of the way he comes from the side a little bit. It looks like he just has a sinking fastball that he's running away from left-handed hitters and a little slider. That's all we've seen so far. Maybe he has a changeup also.
Yeah, that made his major league debut look like he had a pretty good arm.
He threw hard.
Kevin Millwood.
And there's a signal for a sign for a well, you can't tell because the runner at second. It was a changeup.
Yeah. Looped into shallow center. Oh man. Oh man. I'll tell you, that 20-year-old youngster is a joy to watch. That kid can flat out play out there. Took a single away from Ruben Amaro and saved a run. No runs, a hit. No errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 9-6 Atlanta.
Why does Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile have the most advanced digital network on the East Coast? So your cell phone will work here. It works way out here and here. In fact, to ensure that you'll have enhanced voice clarity and privacy, we built a digital network of monumental proportions. After all, a cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile.
This is a battery. It has positives, it has negatives. The positives, it makes your car go. The negatives, there are no negatives. Not if you come to NTB, National Tire and Battery. We sell diehards, the most preferred name in batteries since, well, who knows? Give us a buzz. Think positive. NTB, National Tire and Battery. We're everything you want, nothing like you'd expect.
Good evening. I'm Steve Highsmith. In the news at this hour, what else? The heat. Just as you're recovering from a tough day, Larry's here to tell us it's going to get worse tomorrow. Larry.
Steve, more heat in store and maybe even a tropical storm off our coast.
In New York, a 747 takes off to try to solve the mystery of Flight 800. And did marijuana contribute to a limo accident that critically injured 2 Red Wings players? Details after the film.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Dardis. This is a Mazda Sports Break. Jim Leland's Marlins taking on the Expos tonight. Florida pitcher Pat Rapp lets one get away, drilling Chris Widger right in the head. Now to some defense. Former Philly Jim Eisenreich playing left field for the Marlins, and look at the snatch. Right now, 8th inning, it is tied 4-4. Cincinnati now. Speedster Deion Sanders caught in a rundown, but not for long against the Cards. He runs right out of it. Cincinnati in the 8th inning right now leads it by the score of 4-2. Let's go back now to Atlanta to Harry Callis and Wheels. Guys.
All right, thanks, Mike. And Ricky Batalico is the Phillies' new pitcher. This is his 37th game. He's won 1, lost 3, a 3.79 ERA, 15 saves, but he's had precious few opportunities of late. 38 innings, 39 hits, 16 earned runs, 39 strikeouts, and 24 walks. Batalico on for Jerry Spradlin, who did a good job. Worked 2 innings, gave up no runs, 1 hit, struck out 2, and did not walk the batter. Chipper Jones will be the first one to face him. Jones has singled in 3 at-bats, extending his hitting streak to 10 consecutive games. Chipper's longest hitting streak, an 18-gamer last year. 1 ball and no strikes. On the count to Chipper Jones. Fastball up and in. It's 2-1 to Chipper Jones. fastball, 2-2. Italico last pitched on Thursday, and he only pitched a third of an inning.
Mark Wohlers is out there throwing, and it is a save opportunity, potential at least, if the Braves don't get any more runs here. It's 9-6, so it looks like we'll see Wohlers in the 9th inning.
Full count to Chipper Jones. Raced into left center. Going all the way back to the fence, and Chipper Jones will get a double on it.
Italico is one of the guys really having trouble finding any kind of a groove this year because he just doesn't get used very often because he hasn't had many save opportunities. So they're trying to get him an inning tonight. And a fastball to Chipper Jones, who does a nice job of hitting it towards the alley in left center field for his 24th double of the year.
Brings up Fred McGriff, who has flied out, walked, singled, and walked. Nothing to McGriff.
I mean, there's an example right there. Parent set up for a fastball way away from McGriff, and that ball was way inside as he overthrew it. Ricky Vitalico just needs work, and he hasn't been able to get much.
2 balls and no strikes. McGriff lifetime hitless against Vitalico, 0 for 3. Bronya to Vitalico covering. Moving up to third on the play is Chipper Jones, 1 down.
McGriff has a bad hamstring, so he just is not running down the first baseline at all. He had a chance to get a double earlier tonight and just barely coasted in the first. And on that ball right there, you can see how he's taking it easy. As he's had a sore left hamstring for quite a bit of the season. You see right here, he hits the ball. Vitalico goes over, and he just can't run, or else he's making sure that he doesn't run hard and maybe blow it out.
Brings on Ryan Klesko. He is 1 for 4 with a grand slam home run. Infield pulls in with a runner at third base and 1 out. Base hit right field. Chipper Jones will score. And the Braves now lead at 10-6 here in the 8th inning.
And that means Wohlers might just sit down.
Well, he might. It's not a save opportunity now, and the batter will be Andrew Jones. He's going to take a seat.
Well, he got loose.
Andrew Jones is 0 for 1. He has walked 3 times. One strike to Jones.
I guess if anything's come out of this for the Braves, the fact that Laughlin's been hurt for so long, is they found out how, maybe they knew it already, but they know for sure now how good this guy is in center field.
He covers a lot of ground in center. Made 2 fine plays in the top half of this inning. Almost hit him. 2 balls and a strike.
He thinks he's going to get breaking balls a lot because they throw so many to him, and he's starting to dive into a lot of balls, and he almost got hit by a fastball there.
Just missed. 3-1 the count to Andrew Jones. Full count to him. Ryan Klesko at first with one down. Jones is rung up. First strikeout for Batalico. 2 down here in the 8th.
That's kind of a bemused look as he walks away. I think he thought that pitch might have been a little low.
Mike Cather will bat for himself. So this will be his first major league at bat.
2 of those young pitchers get the first major league at bats tonight.
Really. And strike to him. Bat on the ball to Morandini. Cather is retired. So are the Braves in the 8th. They get a run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We move to the 9th. 10-6 Atlanta.
So, where do you want this?
Hey now, I ordered a new copier.
This is better than new, my friend. Allow me to demonstrate. Oh, what do we have here? Wow. Enlarges too. Even collates. I'll take it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I didn't think I could shove this baby through.
Here's what people are saying about the new smash hit, $1,000 a week for life, too.
Beyond belief.
It was great.
Really wonderful. You like the first one. This one's great.
She was grabbing hold of me the whole time.
I laughed. I cried. I won.
Hey, 3 games on 1 ticket. That's what I call using your head for thrift.
8 ways to win.
Next time, I'm bringing my wife.
It's the feel-good hit of the year.
$1,000 a week for life, too. The sequel that's better than the original. Don't miss Red Hot 7s. Also playing at a retailer near you. Play this instant.
The most prestigious national authority on evaluating managed health plans has awarded Keystone Health Plan East a full accreditation.
By meeting all of the NCQA's rigorous standards, Keystone is among the top 20% of the nation's HMOs, receiving the highest accreditation possible.
We will continue to work hard to merit this accreditation.
Because we've understood how important quality health care is for you and your family for nearly 60 years.
For unsurpassed quality,
you can lean on us.
Phillies baseball has been brought to you in part by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Mellon PSFS, it's where you're going. By your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield, the health insurance companies you can lean on.
After 8 innings of play, it's Atlanta 10, Phillies 6. Wednesday at 9, Jamie puts himself in jeopardy to save Fancy from the worst decision of her life on the Jamie Foxx Show, only on WB 17. Kenny Bautista's come in to play left field, replacing Ryan Klesko as we move to the 9th inning. Morandini takes one high for a ball. I think he is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice and a walk. Klesko has taken over at first base for the crime dog, Fred McGriff. 2 balls and no strikes to Morandini. Cather can get a save out of this if he can get out of the 9th inning. The youngster just called up from Richmond. And the other pitcher they called up, Kevin Millwood, could get the win. Cather has fallen behind Morandini 3-0. 3 balls and a strike.
He could get a save because a tying run was in the on-deck circle when he came into the ball game.
Well, it was just a 3-run lead when he came into the game.
Yeah, exactly that. But the point being, why can't Wohlers get a save? Because this guy came into a game in a potential save situation. Wohlers cannot at this point. That's why they sat him down.
unless the Phillies would get some men on base,
Right.
and they could bring in Wohlers, which Morandini is, and Darren Dalton the batter. Dalton 0 for 2 has hit a sacrifice fly, flied out, walked, and lined out. One ball and no strikes to Darren Dalton. Way outside, 2-0. Now Tim Spear will go out and talk to him. It's with a 4-run lead. You want your pitcher to throw strikes. Spear is telling him that.
Or even with a 6-run lead, as it was earlier in this one.
Yeah.
In favor of the Phillies. Well, you know, one of the hardest things to do in baseball is to get the last 3 outs. That's why closers are so special. Now, this is kind of not a real pressure situation, but it is for him. Because this is the first time he's ever had a chance to close out a game in the 9th inning in the major leagues.
And it'll get Wohlers back up in the bullpen.
Sure, because he's all over the place.
3 balls and no strikes.
Probably a little nervous right now.
Three and 1 to Darren Dalton. Full count.
And Plesko, the new first baseman, playing off, of course, at first with a 4-run lead. So Dalton really doesn't have much of a hole over on that right side. Here's the pitch. Dalton started towards first base. Strike on the inside corner.
Fly ball center field. Andrew Jones is there. 1 down here in the 9th. And we'll bring up Scott Rowland. Rowland is 0 for 3 with a walk. Morandini first base, 1 down. One ball and no strikes to Scott Rowland. Inside again, 2-0. Two balls and a strike. Three and 1 the count to Scott Rowland. Walked him. 2 walks in the inning. It would be a save situation now for Mark Wohlers. The on-deck man represents the tying run. Greg Jeffries, the batter. He has walked, grounded out, flied out, and grounded out.
Yeah, Bobby Cox is giving him a heck of a chance here. He's obviously waiting until the potential tying run gets to home plate, should that happen, and then he probably would go to Wohlers.
Ball 1. Ball 2. Cather with his first save opportunity at the major league level is a little shaky here.
See Bobby Cox just shake his head.
that one over. 2-1 to Jeffries. Ball 3. Three and 1 to Jeffries. 2 men on base and 1 out. Walked him, and he has walked the bases loaded, and Bobby Cox is going to be coming out here. He'll come out and get Wohlers in the game. Here he comes. Cather walking the bases loaded, and the Phillies will bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Rico Brogna. But Wohlers will be called in from the Atlanta bullpen. Pitching change for the Braves. Atlanta leads 10-6 back after these messages.
Hey, check out this baby, huh?
Ooh, making me hungry. Hey, do you mind if I make a long-distance call?
Hey, go ahead. Just dial 10321 first.
10321.
We dial it and save money over AT&T on every call in the U.S.
Really?
And half off every call over 20 minutes.
What about monthly fees?
There aren't any. You just dial 10321, then 1, the area code, and the number.
Last month, I used it on every call and saved a lot of money.
Really?
Yep.
Maybe they taste better than they look.
10321 made a better impression than my cooking.
There's a sea of minivans out there, but one stands above the rest. Ford Windstar, the only minivan to earn the government's 5-star safety rating, higher than Dodge and Chrysler. A 200-horsepower V6 is more powerful, too. And over 40 standard safety features help keep your family safe. Ford Windstar, an island of quality and safety in the sea of life. Now get $1,000 cash back on Windstar, or low 4.8 financing for 48 months. Only from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
On the Toyota American League scoreboard, Boston clobbered Detroit 18-4, banging out 21 hits. Will Cordero hit a home run in that game. Baltimore halted their 6-game losing streak, 9-5 over Toronto. Cleveland has just taken the lead on the Yankees at Yankee Stadium in the 10th on a Marquise Grissom home run. It's 3-2 now in the bottom of the 10th. Kansas City trying to halt their 12-game losing streak. They're in the 10th inning, tied with Milwaukee 1-1. Minnesota 5-3 over the Chicago White Sox in the 8th. Anaheim leads Texas 4-0, and Seattle over Oakland 3-1. That came in the 4th inning. Mark Wohlers, the new pitcher, coming on. Wohlers will try to save this one for Kevin Millwood. The big hard thrower is 1-2, lost 3, saved 21, a 2.27 ERA, 39 2/3 innings, 24 hits, 10 earned runs. 51 strikeouts, 24 walks. Opponents hitting just 173 against him. He'll face Rico Brogna with the bases loaded. And 1 out here in the 9th inning. Atlanta leading at 10-6. Garrett Stevenson will go tomorrow night for the Phils against John Smoltz. We'll be televising that one for you. Phillies back home on Wednesday against Montreal. Kurt Schilling will be pitching on Wednesday night. Wohlers has been clocked at 100. He can fire the ball, and also has a good splitter as well as a slider. Rico Brogna has faced Wohlers 4 times. He has 1 hit off him.
Phillies have 2 moves left. Kevin Sefcik and Mike Lieberthal. Lieberthal has just moved out to bat for Parent.
Lieberthal leads the Phillies in home runs, so he will bat for Mark Parent. He's moving into the on-deck circle. Here's Brogna with the bases loaded and 1 out. Spear, the catcher, drops the ball. Klesko is not a first baseman. He hasn't played that much first, but the first baseman has to take charge of a ball like that that's ended up being closer to first. He's coming in and has a much easier play, and it'll be an error on Tim Spears, so Bronya still has life. But first baseman should take charge of a ball like that.
Bronya trying to get a first ball fastball and drive it somewhere, and pops this play up. It's a lot tougher play. I mean, Harry just analyzed the whole play. I can't add anything to that.
Klesko has just moved in from left field, so one strike. 2 strikes to Bronya.
See a lot of guys swing early on Wallers because you have to. I mean, once he gets, when he gets ahead of you like this, then he throws that nasty split finger pitch. And he was good when he had the fastball slider, but now that he's added that splitter the last couple of years, he's one of the best.
Now balls and 2 strikes to Rico Bronya. Missing high, 1 and 2.
Threw one there, and it just, you saw it at the last second start to dive, just as Spear went to catch it. So he didn't like that ball. See, he didn't throw that splitter real well with that pitch. So he wants a new one.
Phillies have the bases loaded, 1 out here in the 9th inning, trailing by 4. Splitter. That's on number 2. And we'll bring up Mike Lieberthal, the Phillies' last hope here as a pinch hitter.
And this ball dropped a lot better. There's a splitter grip. Starts it about waist high, and down it goes.
Well, Lieberthal will come on to hit for Mark Parent. Lieberthal hitting at .234. As a pinch hitter, he is 1 for 5, leads the Phils in homers with 12. Has faced bowlers 4 times with 1 hit. Splitter, and well out in front of it.
Yeah, on the first pitch this time, because they, hitters are trying to jump at a first ball fastball, and Waller's not letting him get ahead, and he anticipated that.
Now balls and a strike to Mike Lieberthal. Another one. That might have been a slider.
It was a slider. So splitter, slider, now what do you do? And both times Lieberthal swung fastball and didn't get it.
Now balls and 2 strikes. Bounced up the breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Surprising to see a pitcher throw back a scuffed baseball. You hardly ever see him. He picked that ball up after it was in the dirt, and he didn't like it and threw it back. Normally the hitter wants it out of there. Pitchers like those scuffed balls.
Bowler's trying to get a final out here at Turner Field. High fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Mark Wohlers has 3 put-em-away pitches. The high fastball that he threw there, the splitter, and also a slider, which is probably his 3rd best pitch, but is better than most people's sliders. That's why he's such a devastating relief pitcher.
Struck him out, got him with a slider. So Wohlers comes in to strike out 2 as the Phillies go down in the 9th. No runs, no hits, 3 men left. Our Budweiser play of the game, the grand slam home run by Tim Spear, the catcher. That got the Braves within 1. The Phillies had a 6-1 lead. That's our Budweiser play of the game, and our Chevrolet player of the game is Ryan Klesko. He also hit a grand slam and a single and knocked in 5 runs. Ryan Klesko is our Chevrolet player of the game. We'll be back with the totals and a recap in just a moment.
When it comes to value, only one sport utility wins the race. Chevy Blazer LS 4-door 4x4. Because Blazer is priced over $1,200 less than Pathfinder XE, over $1,900 less than Explorer XLT, and over $2,000 less than 4Runner SR5. And now you can lease a Blazer for just $289 a month for 36 months. Initial payment $19.99. Or buy any Blazer now and get $1,000 cash back. Financial security in an insecure world. Only at your local Chevrolet and Geo dealer.
When I call, I may need a lot of answers.
Almost any question you might have, we can answer. From how much your bill is, the date that the bill's mailed out, the date that it's due, any past due balances, if you have any questions about whether we receive payments, any type of usage, we can tell you how much different appliances would cost to use. We can even tell you how much it costs to run your hot tub. Good morning. Thank you for calling Pico Energy. My name is Judy. How may I help you?
Make the right call in picking up dirt. With Hoover, you're always safe.
Atlanta wins 10-6 with 2 grand slams, 10 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors. They left 9. Phil 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors with 10 left. Kevin Millwood wins his first Major League game 1-0. The loss goes to Billy Brewer 0-2. Mark Wohlers his 22nd save. Once again, the final 10-6 for Rich Ashburn, Andy Musser, and Chris Wheeler. Harry Callis, thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow night for Game 2 of this series on the Phil's Television Network. Now let's check in with Steve Highsmith and the news at 10.
This is WB17 News at 10.
Along Oregon Avenue tonight, people sought cool drinks after a day of high heat and foul air, and more is on the way.